Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Out of Touch. I am your chipper and jovial and controversial, popular, infamous host, Kai Schwimmer. What's been happening in the news lately? You know, here I was thinking the last time we did Out of Touch that this story would die down, that my name would not pop up in the X feed, in the X news feed for you. And it really was for me. It was all about me. I love that. Well, hey, looks like the story has not died down. I apologize for my tardiness. Mi tardanza. I apologize, dass ich so spät gekommen habe. But, complicated business. As an orange man once said, complicated business. Let me tell you, folks, right when I was about to log in, I saw that Right Wing Watch has just published a nice little piece about me, a nice little thing. Ben Lorber once again enters the ring. We have the villains of years ago. Well, let me just white pill you. Let me just say from the get-go, this is not slowing down. We're only going to be hitting the target more. And that's why we're receiving so much flack, so much fire. Right? When you've got your ships, when you have your bombers, when you have your planes right above the target, that is when you will receive the most fire from the flak cannons. And that is what we are receiving right now. This is totally disproportionate. This is not at all measured. I think that the real woke right, Joel Berry, James Lindsay, and on top of that, this MAGA Always crowd, which is gunning for my neck, they've overplayed their hand tremendously. I, frankly, am shocked at the fact that a guy so chipper, so jovial as I is frustrating them so much. And what does that tell you? Is it because I'm an evil person? Is it because I've said terrible, terrible things? Some people claim, yes, we'll get into that. Don't worry. We'll get into all of the quote mining. We'll get into all of the accusations. We'll get into everything that everybody has said. And there's a degree, by the way, with which I would like to, approach this. And I'd like to approach it by saying, look, there are things in my past, like everybody else, that I look back on and I regret saying them. And I look back and I see the way maybe I was too boisterous. I see the way that I would make jokes that are not appropriate. That was a big thing. We had Suckle Gang. Suckle Gang was this inside joke we made. We had to disavow that. We had to, shut that off. The approach I take to politics now is very different than the approach I took before my mission. And I want to be clear. I don't want to tokenize the experience I had serving as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for 2 years in Argentina. I do not want to tokenize it, but I would be remiss to not mention the fact that had a transformative effect on my life, on the way that I wanted to engage with politics. It absolutely has shaped me forever, and only in a positive direction. I'd be remiss if I didn't add that, and so it is for that reason as well that I do look at some of the things now being mentioned, and I do have this genuine reaction where I say, oh, like it makes me cringe. I kind of shudder at even some of the things that I used to say, the person I used to be, and not just politically. As a man, as an individual, there's plenty of things I did in the past that I would not ever want to do again. And so, yeah, let's just be clear about that. In my origin, I was a libertarian. You think I'm ever going to be a libertarian again? Absolutely not. Much to the chagrin of Joel Berry and Mr. James Lindsay. What is it with these J names? Nonetheless, that is the situation we find ourselves in, and don't you worry, we'll be going over all of that. And I'd like to just say hi to all the people we have in the chat. Thank you. If you are a viewer who's not familiar with me, with myself, if you are not familiar with the kind of content that I do or who I am, I'm a 23-year-old conservative college student. I'm a college Republican. I was recently appointed to become the political director of the College Republicans of America, a job that would allow me some degree of cooperation with every state federation, and we would work to campaign and help mobilize in favor of candidates who are true conservatives, candidates who are going to replace rhinos, incumbents, people who are not putting America first. That is the job of a political director. And so thank you, all of those who have not yet, been propagandized to by X, by a ton of liberals. If you're here to hear me out, I promise you my sincerity. I promise you earnestness. I promise you answers to your questions. And let me be clear. There's a lot of people who throw comments at me on Twitter. I respond to certainly more than I should. But I've also not responded to plenty. And the reason I haven't responded is because they are not good faith questions. And I learned very early on a lesson that everybody would be smart to remember, which is that there is a subsect of people who will engage with you once you reach any degree of notoriety. And these people will be unconvincible. They do not want to be convinced. They do not want to like you. They will seek earnestly to dislike you. And if you ever rebut some, accusation they've levied against you as a justification for their dislike of you, if you ever even rebut that, they will only go quickly on to find another. Those are people with whom I do not care to engage. I do not care the substance of the arguments they make. I'm happy to answer for things that I've said. I'm happy to give responses in earnest. Take my time, call people, reach out to them in direct messages the way that I have done, but I will never do that for individuals who do not care to actually know who I am. That's it, period, case in point. I just want that to be clear off the bat. I will not be your content. I'm sorry, okay? I was just in a Twitter space. We may even join it. Maybe I'm going back on my word. I think I'd have a lot of fun with it. But we were actually just in a Twitter space right during the lobby of this show called America Uncensored. The America Uncensored Twitter space censored me quite a few times as I was attempting to reply to their questions. But nonetheless, they want to do a show about me. They want me to explain myself to them. What was their first question? It wasn't even about me. It was about somebody else. They want me to be the test subject. They want me to be their wall that they throw stuff at and see what sticks. And that's not who I am. Sorry, I'm not your content. And then they crashed out because I said, well, I'll let you know on my show Out of Touch going live right now. These people are upset that I'm not going to be their content on their show when I have my own show that's live literally right now. These people, by the way, said, oh yeah, we're gonna make today's show all about Kai. We're gonna invite him. Not an invite. Not an invite sent over. Very interesting. Very interesting. And so it makes you think about the sincerity of some of the individuals involved. But yeah, just want to make that clear. For those of you who already know what this show is, this is Out of Touch. This is a political commentary show. We go over the week's news. We go over all kinds of stuff happening socially, culturally, in electoral politics. We go over policy. We go over a vision for the future. And we do a little trolling. We make a couple jokes. And we have fun. We have a lot of fun. I'm genuinely a chipper and jovial guy. Okay? Genuinely, seriously. Many people can attest I am, in sincerity, a chipper and jovial guy. This is not a facade. I have not been able, I would have not been able to maintain a facade of fake niceness for 23 years? No, I'm the kind of kid that was like shaking hands with people on the beach when I was a toddler. I'm a chipper and jovial guy. That's it. Sorry. Sue me, lock me up, throw me in jail. And I think this is actually this, and we're going to get into all the accusations. We're going to get into everything. But I will say, just from the get-go, this is very important. The reputation you create is going to be a great deal of what does the defense. I don't have to go out personally and rebut every single argument because there are already people in Joel Berry's comments. There are already people in Captive Dreamer's comments. There are already people in in James Lindsay's comments saying, hey, I usually agree with you, but I think you're wrong about Kai. And I think that's to a large degree because people have been able to see what I have put out. And I think if you judge me by the content of my character, by my work, the things I've genuinely done, the show that I do consistently every week, I think you'd see very reasonably that I'm not the reincarnation of Hitler, the way that Right Wing Watch and some of these other people like Sloan, I forget her last name, Rothman or something like that. What is it? I'm not the Hitler incarnate that people are making me out to be. I know that's a surprise to a lot of you guys. I know you look at this face and you just have a sense that I'm looking to kill people, but I promise you that's actually not the case. And let's look at who we got in the chat here. We got Slicketh, Leontardo, Everyday Elizabeth, Frog Whistle, High Rise, Papa Clutch. Good to see you again, man. We've got Sophia, Small Graydon Guy. We've got Uncle Bongo. Let's flip and go. Mormon 007, Mormon Girl 007, Square Noggin, Rob Deasy. Great to see you guys. Carrick Von K. Let's flip and go. Gentlemen, Carla, good to see you as well. So good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you guys as well if you're watching on Kick. If you have not yet subscribed on Kick, be sure to subscribe on Kick. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And if you would like to ask me, Tally, good to see you as well. Jewberry Green, good to see you as well. Rosetta Stanfield, good to see you as well. If you guys do want to support the show, Thomas Kellogg, good to see you as well. Great to see you, my friend. If you want to support the show, if you want to ask me a question, go to powerchat.live/kaiclips. Help me out. I am a college student. I will beg for your money. I will beg. I won't beg. But I will ask. But I will say please. No, but if you'd like to actually send in a message to the show, the way to do that is to go to powerchat.live/kaiclips. Here is the link for all those interested. Anyway, without further ado, where do we even begin? I want to say another thing at the onset. We're at 500 viewers already. Love this. I want to tell everybody, those who are typical viewers of mine, please understand, I love you guys. I love you guys to death. Whatever walk of life you're from, I love you to death. Please understand that when you go and defend me, to an extent, you are also representing me. And I would hope, I would encourage, I would implore you to try your best to emulate characteristics of which I myself, or which I myself strive to embody. Please allow yourself to mimic those same characteristics when you engage with others in my own defense. If you're talking with somebody who hates me, but your response to their slander, to their lies is, you should effing kill yourself, I would never say that. I would never say that. So please don't say that, you guys, because then it reflects poorly onto me. And that's just an exhortation. That is just a simple personal exhortation to the Beamers, to the Chads of the chat, to all you ladies and gentlemen. Just please understand that when you do defend me, do so in a way that does not open us up to more attack. Please don't swear. Please don't tell anybody to die, to kill themselves. Don't call them dumb whores, B-words, anything like that. Even James Lindsay, please do not attack his the unchangeable characteristics. Weight is something I'm a little bit iffy on. Weight is something you can change. You can change your weight. So maybe, but do so, hope for his improvement. Hope for his improvement on the issue of his rotundness. Anyway, we will, we'll get into that. That's an important caveat I wanted to say, just so you guys understand that I appreciate that very much. I'm not a hall monitor. I'm not going to be there and I can't say, hey, cut that out. I do to some of you because you go a little crazy. But please understand. How it makes us look. Anyway, all that out of the way, let's actually jump in to some of the critiques that are being mentioned. Let's give you a timeline. Last Thursday, I believe, the announcement is made that I will be the political director of the College Republicans of America. If you're unsure what that is, if you're unsure about the initial drama, go watch the last stream. Now, immediately, we have two characters that pop up, Joel Berry and James Lindsay. I keep thinking Lindsey Graham and James Lindsay. Now, what's the reason that they are so opposed to my appointment? Well, they believe, James in particular, that I am something called woke right. Now, the woke right is characterized basically by identity politics. Identity politics in our own defense, mind you, right? We stick up for men. We stick up for white people. We don't apologize for being either of those things. We stick up for Christians. We talk about the nature and the culture of the country being a Christian one. That's what we do. But this is identity politics to some extent, and James Lindsay is having none of that. James Lindsay hates that. And Joel Berry of the Babylon Bee, he believes that this is an attempt to Groyperize or Tuckerize the right wing. We'll get into some of those particulars momentarily. Anyway, they jump in. they jump in and they start going crazy, and they have not stopped tweeting about me. And it is hilarious. It is hilarious because some of the arguments, first of all, James Lindsay yesterday said that he wanted to fight me. He said that he bullies college Republicans like myself because he can't beat us up. James, you threatening to beat me up? I'm not a big MMA guy. I'm not a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. Maybe you are. I know you are quite comfortable with the sword, but I don't think you're winning that one, big guy. I really don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't want you to get your hopes up. I don't think you'd win that, okay? So he turns into this keyboard warrior. Now, Joel Berry, for those of you who don't know, Joel Berry, let me get his position right. Joel Berry is very interestingly the managing editor, let me be clear, of the Babylon Bee. He's the managing editor of the Babylon Bee. Okay. Well, let's give you a little bit of background, because their big contentions, right, is that I'm not a conservative. I'm taking Republicans down a dark road. Why? Because I'm against third world immigration, because I believe in sticking up for the nation's character, for the nation's identity. They are not big fans. They're not big fans. They've become enemy number one and enemy number two. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Now let's take you into a little bit of the history with them. James Lindsay touts himself to be an anti-communist. That's his big thing. He's an anti-communist and he is anti-woke right. He has labeled everybody woke right. Like literally everyone. Anybody who is right of Ben Shapiro, he has labeled, and even some people who are not right of Ben Shapiro, he has labeled them woke right. We're talking Michael Knowles. We're talking Matt Walsh. We're talking J.D. Vance. We're talking Tucker Carlson. We are talking myself. Every single buddy. And I want to say Chief Trumpster on Twitter, he's going to be doing a very good expose, a thread concerning our friend James Lindsay here. And let me tell you about James Lindsay. James Lindsay was a liberal. That is his origin story. And look, I understand we come from different walks of life. Sometimes it takes us longer to figure out, what our political opinions should be. My political opinions have been the exact same since I was in senior year of high school. Up until then, like for the rest of my high school years, I was pretty libertarian. And then I became more paleo-conservative, right? More traditionally conservative. So I've known since I was 17 what my political opinions are, and they've remained basically the same. There's some policy differences. I've evolved. Of course, everybody does. But I've always been, on the right side. James Lindsay voted for Hillary in 2016 and defended that vote until 2019. James Lindsay and I became like more right-wing at the same time. And how old is this guy, by the way? Let's give it a Google. Let's give this a Google. James Lindsay was born in 1979, which makes him 46 years old. And of course, let's subtract, it's been 7 years since 2019. So when James Lindsay was 39, when James Lindsay had AARP knocking on his door already, letting him know that they were ready. They were ready for his retirement. When James Lindsay was 39 years old, we both were right-wing. And here's the kicker. Even when he had started to change his political opinions, he still defended the fact that he did not vote for Trump. And here, by the way, this is a quote from 2019. Our present society has a lot of problems. Neither social justice nor Trumpism is the answer to any of them. Reject the fringes. And we'll get in, by the way, to the political analysis of the woke right stuff. And here is him clarifying his stance, by the way, in 2020. He says, people, James was always going to vote for Trump. Fact check. He's fact checking here. I volunteered for Obama, voted for him and all blue both times. Voted for Clinton and all blue. Encouraged people openly and publicly on video and in writing to vote all blue without thinking in both 2016 and 2018. I'm really glad that you have clarified that. So look, I am not here to say that I'm not here to say that James Lindsay can't have a political evolution. I'm just saying that his political evolution, he had it when he was 39, and I had it when I was 17. So, you know, which one of us has got a better sense for the world and how it works? Here's the other issue. It is generational. There's a reason young Gen Z men are more conservative than prior generations. And you know what that reason is? It's that we have seen the failures. We have seen the left win the culture war. And here's the problem of this paradigm of the woke right. This, well, you can't do something. It's just the way that the left would do it. You know, if we go after redistricting, the left is going to do the same thing. If we use the strength and force of the government, the left will do the same thing. Here's your rebuttal. The left is going to do it anyway. The left does not care. The left does not use the right as a pretext to justify its own actions. This is not a game of two parties escalating each other. This is one party who takes winning a lot more serious, and it's another party who doesn't seem to care and has anchored itself, has attached itself at the hip to ideals which never materialize. And I'm not saying you have to go to your deathbed having been a dictator, having killed a lot of people. You don't have to do that. But you do have to start to take your own side, and you have to be unafraid to do so. You have to realize that whether or not we use the force of the federal government to impose morality, the left is going to do that eventually anyway. And you want to know a good example? Because you'll have people like James Lindsay. I don't know what Joel's take is on this. Lindsay has been very outspoken about pornography in the past. Not in a way that we would like. And this is going to be sussy because I'm Googling James Lindsay pornography. Let's see here. Hold on. Give me a second here. And I might even not have it. I had them all pulled up, and then my things got screwed over here. Anyway, James Lindsay posts, this will give you a good sense. This should have been pre-show. Yeah, you're right. Hey, I had a bunch of stuff that came out last second. Anyway, here's an idea. This is from January 18th. If naked pictures of me leak, that's my advantage. I have to be talked down from posting them myself sometimes. Misfit Patriot, of course, he's also in the band now. He's also in the band. He talked about checking out chicks' butts with, I think it was Bill Clinton. And so James Lindsay, he seems to be a upstanding character. Defending, against bans of pornography. He says, I guarantee pornography is as old as being able to draw curved lines, circles, and parallel lines. And then he depicts sexual or reproductive organs with those lines. Love that. And this is basically one of the ideas. It's that if the right goes and tries to ban pornography, if we try to go and shut down violent actors, if we try to go and legislate morality, dare I say, the left is going to do the same thing. Well, how did that work out, by the way, with freedom of speech? This is my question, James. What was the right's provocation against the left that caused the left to drastically restrict the ability of right-wing pundits and influencers to have success on social media? What was the reason for deplatforming? What did the right wing do to provoke mass deplatforming, censorship, and changing of community guidelines? What did we do to deserve all of that? What was the provocation against the left that got us kicked off of every single major social media? What was the provocation there? And that, by the way, is hugely consequential. Hugely. The deplatforming of people like Milo Yiannopoulos, like Ben Shapiro and others back in 2016, although to be fair, Ben Shapiro was never really deplatformed, but of people like Steven Crowder, of people like Alex Jones, that deplatforming, that was not a result of some provocation to the left because the right wing imposed their political will. No, it wasn't. It was something the left wanted to do, and so they did it. It's just that the right can't operate by the same standard. We have to somehow appeal to them in order to justify any act. We have to sit there and convince them that what we're doing is constitutional, that what we're doing is, well, if they would do it, well, you guys did the same thing. We sit here and we try to justify our actions by their playbook. We try to use their precedent. The only reason that we can even do things politically is because the left has done them first. Hey, and sorry, Gen Z is done playing defense. You can throw around this label of woke right. You can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, we're just sick of losing, because when we lose, people are thrown in jail. We can't be on social media. We see our peers subjected to literal propaganda, mind warping that convinces them to cut off their genitalia, that gets them addicted to drugs and pornography. And we're just kind of done with that. You didn't have a generation that was so plugged in as we are. You did not see so many losses sustained in a culture war. You were on the wrong side of the culture war, James. But now you're trying to tell us, you're trying to navigate, well, these are the boundaries. This is the line. Here are the rules to engage in the conflict. We just literally cannot take that from you. We can't take that from you. We can't take that from Joel Berry. This is why young right-wing men are more conservative even than the golden generation. And if you can't handle that, I'm so sorry. We're the ones who voted for Trump in 2016 if we were old enough, or we were the ones radicalized during that time because of the political correctness imposed by the left. And let me tell you, I don't think you're going to actually have a bunch of people who are going to, except for maybe right-wing people like James Lindsay, right-wing I put in quotes. I don't think you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be, chomping at the bit to destroy the system, to destroy Republicans if we ban pornography. Okay? I don't think it's going to be a bang. I think it'll be a whimper. And I'm not afraid, by the way, of making it easier for good people to live good lives. I think it's cruel the way that we make vices way more accessible than anything good for people. I think that's a problem. I have no problem going into schools and saying, hey, I don't think kids should have their phones in schools. I don't think you should be on social media until you're 16. I am against transgender surgeries for kids, even if the parents give consent. Okay? That's why we're more conservative than this generation. And to the extent, by the way, that we are more conservative than the prior generations, I meant to say, to the extent that we are more conservative than prior generations, that is borne out in the way that we make demands of Trump and of our elected representatives. Because we are more staunchly conservative than prior generations, we demand that the Trump admin go through with the deportations that they have said that they were going to go through with. The largest deportation campaign of all time. Second, we demand that Trump amend language, that he not say stupid things like, well, we're only going to allow for transition surgeries if the parents consent for children. We're not actually in favor of that either. Third, we are not going to be running into a conflict in Iran because we lived through the consequences of that. And I know that, this idea of the woke right, this is really being seen as what has kicked this off. They like to make this a war of, they like to make it a conflict of the woke right versus, maybe the more libertarian right. Well, let me tell you actually what the real source of the conflict is. Look at every single one of those people. Find me one that isn't a Zionist. Find me one that is not an Israel first kind of voter. And this is exactly the issue that I mentioned on Michael Knowles' show with Steve Deace. However you feel about it, there is a conflict that exists in the right wing. And it is a conflict where you have two sides that are both equally willing to destroy the right wing. So if they're both looking at the same goal, or if they're at least willing to make the same threat, you have to ask, what is the reason for the threat? Well, what's the reasoning of those who are willing to destroy the right wing if it abandons our relationship with Israel? Well, it seems that their reasoning is based on the interest of a foreign nation. It seems that they are not even willing to understand or to accept or consider the idea that the relationship we have with Israel is detrimental to the United States. And because they won't even consider that, they are in their calculus including also the interest of Israel. So ask yourself, you have one section of the right willing to destroy the Republican Party over the interests of a foreign nation, because they understand that Israel needs U.S. support. And you have the other side which says what? The other side believes that you have got a severe problem with Israeli influence in Republican politics and in a bipartisan way as well. That it seems to not matter whether you're Republican or Democrat, both parties seem to align with Israel, and this side believes that that is to the detriment of the Republican Party and of the nation as a whole. But whose interest are they looking out for? They're looking out for the interest of Americans. They're looking out and they're seeing that this relationship is to the detriment of who? It is only to the detriment of the United States. The foreign nation, it doesn't even factor in, because this side understands that we, as American conservatives, should not be concerned with how that relationship affects a foreign nation. We should be principally concerned with how it affects ours. And let me just say, by the way, to the extent that this side over here, to the extent that the more Israel-inclined right, the more Zionist right wing, believes that separating from Israel or having a more conditional relationship with Israel, to the extent that they believe that that would be to a detriment of the United States, that argument, you literally cannot go anywhere with it, because there is no reality where our separation from Israel is going to cause any amount of catastrophic damage to the United States. We would be spending less money. We would have fewer foreign entanglements. Okay, maybe we lose some representation in the Middle East. Yeah, but we gain a lot on the international stage because almost every single major and developed country is against Israel. What else do we gain? We gain the ability to be liberated in our negotiations. You don't need to have Donald Trump tweeting out things like, wow, Canada recognized Palestinian statehood. That's going to make it difficult to negotiate on trade with them. Like, that's insane. So if we separate from Israel, not only is that not going to threaten the United States in any significant way, it's also going to actually free us up to do a lot more than we're doing right now, because there's plenty of nations who look at us as worse because we are a blank check de facto sponsor of whatever Israel does, or at least that is how it seems. And that is the reason they do not want me as the political director of the College Republicans of America. And these people, by the way, the people here on the left, the more Zionist right, they spend a lot of time saying that the guys on the other side, the Israel critical right, they spend a lot of time saying that the Israel critical right is dangerous because they are willing to destroy the GOP over this one issue. Well, guess what? You have seen how the Israel first right is trying to destroy me because of my difference on that issue. And I'm sorry if this is a radical opinion, but I don't think that issue, I don't think that my difference on this issue of international relations should have any bearing on whether or not I can be a good political director for the College Republicans of America. If somebody else sees a way to make that connection, let me know, because I don't really think that that's the issue that is going to qualify how good of a political director I can be. You want to ask me about my qualifications. You want to ask me about, well, what have you done at the state level? Well, which candidates are you looking to choose? Well, which candidates are you not in favor of? You want to ask me those questions? Go ahead. All of those questions are legit. All of them pertain, by the way, to the job that I will have. But the question of what is my opinion on the U.S. relationship with Israel, that's not a question that has any bearing on whether or not I should be political director of the College Republicans of America, and yet that is the question. That is the issue over which they have caused this whole mess. What's the other concern? The other concern is that because I have interacted with and been in similar circles with Nick Fuentes, who is going to campaign for Democrats, or is going to at least support Democrat challengers to Republicans or oppose the Republican Party, that I am not, or that I, as the political director of the College Republicans of America, am going to campaign for Democrats. And to that I just say, hey, look at the job title that I have. Look at the job title that I have. You know what it is? Political director of the College Republicans of America, the College Republicans of America. Do you seriously think that I, in that position, am going to be campaigning for Democrats? No. I don't think anybody seriously believes that. And so I didn't even almost want to bring that up, because that is the goofiest thing in the world. Second, there are obviously races around the country where a Republican will win. There are plenty of primaries and there are plenty of elections that are going to be just given for Republicans. We need strong Republicans in office. We don't want John Cornyn's. We want Ken Paxton's. We want Mike Collins. We want Carrie Ann. We want Carrie Ann Lisenby in Utah and not Blake Moore, who literally gave a congressional seat to Democrats. That's the role I'll be filling. Nobody engages on that point. When I tell them about some of the plans that we have, when I tell them about some of the races that we are watching, they just retreat. It's because they don't care. It's because they don't care. It's because the issue is not about whether or not I'm going to vote for Democrats. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. And let me be clear, I also have not voted for Democrats ever, unlike James Lindsay. Now let's take a look at the Babylon Bee. The Babylon Bee is trying to cancel me. Joel Berry has tweeted incessantly. And the funniest, the richest thing, by the way, about all of this, the richest thing about all of this is the fact that you've got the guy from Babylon Bee and James Lindsay, the anti-communist, who are tweeting about me incessantly, who have way more followers than I do. Let's, by the way, just mention that. Let's just mention that, because their followers will come and they'll say, oh, you're irrelevant. Why should they talk to you? Well, that's a good question. I ask myself that all the time. I ask myself why they are talking to me all the time. Joel Berry has 173,000 followers. James Lindsay, how many followers does this guy have? Let's look this up. Let's do a live little interaction here. James Lindsay, 557,000. You know how many I have? I've got 31,500. I've gained 3,000 in the last couple days. You know, light work. People are seeing what I'm doing. You've got Brett Cooper liking my tweets. You've got Mike Cernovich saying I've got aura. We have an interesting coalition being built up. Very interesting. But the Babylon Bee was literally like being canceled in the past for edgy stuff that they had done. And if you look at their page, what is the kind of stuff they're writing about? They're writing about how Iran is boasting that they have destroyed plenty of U.S. missiles with their buildings. They make all the time overt references to death, to violence, all that kind of stuff. And that's going to be relevant. We'll talk a little bit about why that is relevant. But Joel Berry has been incessantly tweeting about me. And then the followers, of course, they have the audacity to say, well, why should they engage with you? I ask myself that all the time. They've been tweeting about me for 5 days now. They've not shut up. And hey, all press is good press, so I'll take it. Thank you very much, Mr. Joel Berry. But what's interesting, and this is maybe, I want to say, by the way, this is probably the most controversial thing. This is the thing of which I myself am most ashamed, personally, that happened. And this is something that Mr. Joel Berry has been tweeting pretty consistently. This is something they've been tweeting pretty consistently. And by the way, who's facing all the pressure of Joel Berry and James Lindsay? It's right-wing people. It is right-wing people. Now you have left-wing journalists who are going after TPUSA, who are going after the college Republicans, who are going after totally unrelated people. Gabe Guidarini, they're going after this guy. He's catching strays. You have people who are genuine, serious, lovely, never heard a fly right-wingers who are now incurring hell, who have to answer phone calls incessantly because Joel Berry and James Lindsay fed a bunch of information to leftists. You think that makes the right wing stronger? You think that actually helps us win elections? Isn't that what you guys are worried about, is winning elections? So how does kneecapping the political director of the CRA and sending a bunch of left-wing journalists after college Republicans, how does that help us at all? How does that help us win elections? It's a good question. I hope they answer, because I've asked them plenty of times to have a conversation, and they don't. Anyway, here's the quote. And I want to say something. Just to start, I would love the chance to listen to this entire conversation. Unfortunately, for reasons I'll describe in a second, we can't. Here's the quote that is being very frequently repeated. I'm going to censor it because I don't know how YouTube does with slurs. A slur is used. Warning. Here it is. Quote, "You sound like a K word, the slur for Jewish people, when you speak German. Don't butcher the German when you read it. Please and thank you very much. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to the white race. Attributed to Kai Schwimmer. And you read that and you think, that sounds terrible. That sounds actually like, holy cow, this guy is like a white supremacist. Maybe this guy is the reincarnation of Hitler. That's what it sounds like. And when it's attributed like that, when it is quoted like that, it does. It does sound like that. And it's interesting because I thought we were very interested in context. I thought context is something that the right wing cared a lot about, but I guess not. So let me give you the context and I'll explain it, because this quote is taken from a video clip of about 1.5 minutes. It's a recording of a Twitter space that happened, if I'm not mistaken, 3.5 years ago, before my mission. And I would have loved to play you the whole clip. And if somebody has it, please send it here. We will review the actual audio live. This is how unafraid I am of telling you the truth of the context of this quote. But I'll tell you why I don't have the quote here and why I don't have the video. I wanted the video. I wanted to show it to you guys. I wanted to go over this together, be very transparent about everything released. The only issue is Max Nordau, the guy that posted the video originally, and all the other accounts who posted it subsequently, none of them have kept it up. They've deleted it. They've deleted the video. Now, if this is such a damning video, why would you delete it? Especially if you're trying to go after me. Wouldn't the most damning thing in the world be, rather than just write out a bunch of words and attribute them to me, wouldn't it be to hear me say them? Wouldn't that be way more damning? Like, wouldn't that be proof of my maliciousness? If this quote, in its context, is as awful as it sounds, and we have the context, the clip itself was up for several days on Twitter. Why isn't it still there? That's a really interesting question. And I keep asking myself, why is that clip not still up? Okay, we got it. Perfect. Yeah, this Mormon Marxist, he really came in clutch here. We're going to listen to it. And I want to preface by saying, regardless of the context, it is something that I would not repeat. And the crassness of it, the vulgarity of it, even within the context, is not something I'm proud of. And it is something, I actually heard it. And this is maybe the worst thing I did, is when I was on my mission, I listened to this because I found it and it made me shudder. It literally made me shudder. And missionary ears are always more sensitive to anything that is not uplifting, virtuous, of good report, or praiseworthy. But nonetheless, it was something that makes me shudder and is not something I'm proud of at all. I'll try not to blush as we hear it. It is not something I'm proud of, but you have a right to hear it. And I don't know why people would take that down. I don't know why people would take the original context down. Here it is. I hope that the video doesn't get taken down for the slur. I hope you can hear it. Let me know.
Can I read what my banner says? Von den Jugend und ihren Lügen.
Okay. And we're going to actually, I'll play the whole thing out, and then we'll break it down bit by bit.
Can I read what my banner says? Von den Jugend und ihren Lügen.
Okay. Please never speak the German language ever again. It's von der Juden und ihren Lügen.
Yes.
You can't speak German.
Oh, okay.
No.
Sorry.
No, hold on.
That's literally what I said.
No. Von
den Jugend. Yes, I didn't pronounce the U.
Ihren Lügen. Look.
With the umlaut. You're upset that I didn't pronounce the U with the umlaut, right? That's what you're upset about.
I'm upset about the fact
you are.
that you do.
You're upset that I didn't pronounce the umlaut because I'm an American.
No.
I'm sorry.
The second part is more of what I'm upset about. What I'm upset about is the fact that, and this is something I see from a lot of people in the BAP space. You do this whole, and admittedly, it's more so Frederick than it is you. But these people do this whole, I'm a Nazi, I'm an Aryan LARP. Hitler would hate you. Hitler would actually hate you. And you need to like quit with this like, oh,
It's
I'm like
not
an
an
Aryan
argument.
and I'm gonna bring a national socialist victory to the United States. Shut up. Shut up.
I don't sound like that.
You-
sound
you-
I don't sound
like
like
a
that.
kike when you
Hey,
speak
hey,
German.
hey.
So please do not do it.
Martin.
Don't put a German phrase in your banner, and don't butcher the German when you read it. Please and thank you very much. You're a disgrace.
These people are so angry.
You're a disgrace to
Martin.
the white race. That's what I'm upset about.
They're so-
I'm upset that you
they're
claim
so
to be
angry.
representing us.
Alrighty. There's the quote. So, let's break down what we heard. There's a conversation between three people. There's a Twitter space with more. And it's a conversation that I am having with a guy named Captive Dreamer. And I actually didn't know that that was him, at least when the space happened. Maybe I did. I genuinely don't recall. But it's a conversation with this individual, and we'll break down what is being said piece by piece. Now, what's interesting is that already, like, what am I saying? I'm saying you're a disgrace to the white race. Please don't speak German. You're butchering it. Don't do this Nazi LARP. That's what I say. And I'll see actually if I can raise the volume. Let's we're going to raise the desktop audio a little bit so you guys can hear it better. Going to increase the gain a little bit on our desktop audio. Let's see how that is.
Can I read what my banner says?
How's that? How's that volume wise? Should we make it a little louder?
Von den Jugend und ihren Lügen.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. So the way this audio starts out is I ask him, you can't hear this in the video, but this is what I ask. I said, can you read your banner? I was talking to an individual who had German in his bio, who had a German banner, and the content of the German banner was, I believe, just from the context, it's von den Juden und ihre Lügen, which is Martin Luther's book of the Jews and their lies. That's what he has in his bio, in his banner. And I want to be clear. I actually reject this whole paradigm, the whole framing. I've talked about this before. I hate the whole you call everybody a Nazi. But to the extent that people want to make me out to be a Nazi because of this audio, it should be important to notice the guys that I'm insulting, the guys I'm going after are white supremacists. And so I've done this a couple of times, but the funniest thing to do when you are dealing with people who are LARPing as Nazis, when these people act like white supremacists, when they are avowed white supremacists or Nazis, the funniest thing to do is to make fun of them where it hurts, which is in exactly that, German. And I have the fortune of having learned German when I was really young. I can pronounce the words without sounding like I'm, super American. I ask him to read his banner, and he reads it with his Canadian accent, and it sounds ridiculous, and I make fun of him. And the intent this entire time is to make fun of them because they are Nazis, they are idiots, they look ridiculous. You should not LARP as a Nazi, as a white nationalist. That's retarded. That is the point of the entire call. And let's break that down. You'll hear every single bit of this.
Can I read what my banner says? Von den Jugend und ihren Lügen.
Abysmal German. Just want to say.
Okay. Please never speak the German language ever again. It's von der Juden.
And it's funny, I actually said it wrong. Like, my German's not that good either. So I actually said the German wrong. But
yes,
you can't speak German.
Okay.
No.
Sorry.
No. Hold on.
You're literally what I said.
No.
Translates
You
younger
said
for a
it's
living.
Von
You know that,
der
right?
Von den Juden.
Juden und
Yes,
ihren
I didn't pronounce the U.
Lügen. Look.
With the umlaut. You're upset that I didn't pronounce the U with the umlaut, right? That's what you're
the Canadian accent really comes out there, right?
upset about.
I'm upset about the fact
You are.
that you do.
You're upset that I didn't pronounce the umlaut because
And there's a part that gets cut out here. This is why I'm so glad I get to go over this.
I'm an American.
No.
I'm sorry.
The second part is more of what I'm upset about. What I'm upset about is the fact that, and this is something I see from a lot of people in the BAP space. You do this whole
BAP is Bronze Age pervert, by the way.
like, and admittedly, it's more so Frederick than it is you.
Frederick is the other interlocutor. Friedrich Frederick, that's not even his name. He's another American guy LARPing as a Nazi.
But these people do this whole, like, I'm a Nazi, I'm an Aryan LARP. Hitler would hate you.
What's cut out there, what you couldn't hear, but what I said is Hitler would hate you.
Hitler would actually hate you.
He would actually hate you. So what's going to be the most offensive thing to say to a Nazi, somebody who aspires to be loved by Hitler, somebody who thinks Hitler is the coolest guy ever? It's to tell them that you suck at speaking German and Hitler would have hated you. And I've said that a couple of times to other people who do the same shtick. There might even be tweets of me saying it still up, or it could have been on a different account. That is me insulting them, because I think that them being Nazis is stupid and retarded. And I'm making fun of them in a way that I think they will be insulted by, and they were a little hurt, and I'm sorry. Anyway,
you need to like quit with this, like, oh,
It's
I'm
not
like an
an
Aryan,
argument.
and I'm gonna bring a national socialist victory to the United States. Shut up.
I'm literally mocking them. I am literally mocking the idea that they want an Aryan victory, that they want National Socialism in the United States. I am literally mocking them.
Shut up.
I don't sound like that.
You
You-
sound
sound
like
like
a
that.
kike when you
Hey,
speak
hey,
German.
hey.
So please do not do it.
Martin.
Don't put a German phrase in your banner.
And look, there I descend. I become not so chipper at all. I'm a bit of a crash out. But, and this is, where the slur is employed as well. Understand, the reason I use it is because that's what I felt they, as Nazis, would be most offended by. And we'll just finish up the clip so you get the whole thing through one more time.
And don't butcher the German when you read it. Please and thank you
You're-
very much.
again,
You're
again,
a disgrace.
these people are so angry.
No,
They're-
you're a disgrace to
Martin.
the white race. That's what I'm upset about.
There's
And there you go. I say they're disgraces to the white race that they are trying to, espouse, that they are LARPing about. So there's the video. But when you read the quote, what is the impression you get? Well, you get the impression that I'm like cussing out a Jewish guy, or that I am a white supremacist, a Nazi. The impression that most people get from the quote is not in a million years that I am insulting two Nazis, telling them, self-avowed, right? Telling them that they're stupid and that Hitler would have hated them. That's not the impression you get from the quote at all. And so you have a lot of people who are asking, Kai, what's the context, Kai? You said this, is this real? There's your context. Is it something I'm proud of? No. Do I think that they're still ridiculous and stupid? Yes. Would I make fun of them again? Yes. Am I going to tell them again in the future that Hitler would have hated them? Probably yes, because I think that's hilarious because they get genuinely offended about it. But, obviously, I am not proud about the way that it sounds and the language I used and the way I did it. And it's something that, looking back, I shudder at it. I do get embarrassed by it. I'm fine to admit that. But it's interesting that context is totally removed. Because once you get that context, instead of just some words that people wrote down, when they have actually the real video, which has since been deleted, by the way, when you get the full context, you actually realize it's pretty much the opposite of the narrative that they are trying to drive, which is that I am a white nationalist and a Nazi. It's pretty much the opposite. So yeah, there is your controversial moment. That is probably the most offensive one. That in my opinion, like even before this, that was probably, in my opinion, the worst thing I've said. To be fair, I could be wrong. There could be something that somebody drags up that is worse. I'm not saying that's impossible. I am saying I do not remember that. And I had genuinely considered that the worst thing I'd ever said. And it was like a moment, even prior to all of this, that was a moment where I was like, okay, wow, yeah, I went way overboard. That's not cool, even if it was not the way that people made it out. And we got 100 viewers over on Kick, and we got 89 on YouTube. And I hope that of those people who are represented and the 1,000 or so that are on Twitter, I hope that all those people, if you have genuine questions, I hope you understood the context, and you can make whichever judgment you want. You can make whatever judgment you want. But I'm also not interested in the slur game. Because guess what? Captive Dreamer, the guy that was in that call, he was one of the same ones who was pushing this against me. He was one of, right there with Joel Berry, right there with James Lindsay, was trying to get left-wing media on my B word, on my behind, on my butt, trying to shut me down. The guy I'm literally debating, saying Hitler would hate him, that he's a stupid Nazi LARPer, that's the guy trying to cancel me. And Joel Berry and James Lindsay are eating it up. Interesting bedfellows. Interesting bedfellows. And the worst part is, he claims he's American. He's not even American. From what I've been told, he's Canadian. What's up with that? I guess, once you've lied so much, it's, just slip another one in there. It's no problem. Anyway, that is one of the controversial things. Now let's jump into something else. This is today's story. Today's story is about something I said on a live stream or on another Twitter space. Man, these Twitter spaces, they get me in trouble. This is a Twitter space that happened a couple months back. It was after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This is posted, and it says bombshell. And I look and I say, whoa, what could be coming out now? Kai Schwemmer, quote, I agree with the substance of what he said. Kai defending John Miller's statements about Charlie Kirk's assassination being funny. John Miller, quote, if you can't laugh that Charlie Kirk was allegedly shot, politics isn't for you. John Miller said this within hours of Charlie's death. Kai said this in my space on September 28th, 2025, just 18 days after Charlie Kirk's tragic death at the hands of evil people. And I just want to say the individual who posted that tweet, he was accusing me of artificially pumping my tweets, my responses. He said that, well, the moment I put a tweet out, you've got all of these people of these different names. You've got all of them backing him up. You've got all these people who are already there to support him. When this was posted, when it had 90 views, his tweet had 11 retweets and 4 likes. I can say, hand over my heart, I have not asked for people to juice my replies, except for on this stream. I have not asked anybody to juice any of my replies over this entire timeline. So I'm sorry that you're accusing me of artificially pumping my responses when yours are clearly artificially pumped. 11 retweets and 4 likes. Does that seem real to anybody? So I'm so sorry that it seems like I am the one artificially pumping stuff, but I actually just have motion. People actually just stand by me because they're sick of this right-wing cancel culture. They're sick of going back to pre-2016. Wasn't that the whole point of Donald Trump being elected, is the fact that we could elect somebody who was going to do good for the country despite the fact that they had a flawed past? Wasn't that the whole point of that election? Wasn't it a big FU to the politically correct voices? Didn't we vote for Trump exactly because he wasn't electable? Wasn't the idea of Trump the fact that we would not be told by these mainstream, incumbent, pundit idiots that we can never run anybody who's a real conservative because they have compromising personal issues? They're upset that I have motion. They want to take us to pre-2016. They want us to go through the whole rigmarole of looking at every single bad tweet anybody has ever put out, and they see it as disqualifying. They are doing the job of the left. They are engaging in the only cancel culture that still exists. They are the woke right. That is the only woke right that exists. And let's listen to what I said. This bombshell of me agreeing with the substance of what he said regarding John Miller's statements about the Charlie Kirk's assassination being funny.
I agree, actually, and you might disagree with me here, but I actually agree with the substance of what he said. I don't think whether it is Charlie Kirk's death or the death of even the members of the church in Michigan or anybody.
When I refer to that, I mean the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is the church of which I am a part.
Any nationality or cause, I don't think they're off the table when it comes to humor we can employ. I think that there is a space for edgy humor, and obviously right after a mass casualty event or after an assassination occurs, that's probably not the time. But if you look at somebody like, for example, Jimmy Kimmel's remarks, Jimmy Kimmel's remarks regarding the shooting, I didn't think were like totally evil. I thought that a lot of right wing people were grandstanding about it. What he did was, show Donald Trump's reaction when he was asked by an interviewer how he was holding up. Do you think that was evil? You might not agree with it. You might think it's insensitive, but I don't think it's evil. I think he's a terribly unfunny guy. I think his politics are awful, but I don't think he's ontologically evil. And that might just be the difference between the way you and I view the world. I don't see people as ontologically evil. And you might just
There you go.
In Utah,
Hold on.
Charlie, I'll read you.
You and I view the world. I don't see people as ontologically evil.
I didn't even see what Jimmy Kimmel said, but Jimmy Kimmel is evil.
He showed
And
a clip. It was not. It wasn't that great.
I'll read you John Miller's tweet, which is up at the top now. John Miller said, "If you can't laugh at Charlie Kirk being allegedly shot at an event in Utah, politics just isn't for you." So I think I nailed it just about.
And then he cuts it. And then he cuts it. And then he cuts it. He doesn't include my response. But I think you guys, you're all intelligent enough to understand what I'm saying. And I'm not going to sit here. I want to be clear. This stream is not going to be dedicated to substantiating running cover for other people's tweets, other people's opinions. I reject the paradigm. I'm sorry. I've had left-wing friends who are still friends of mine. Despite all the things that I've said, I respect them for it. I love them for it. How am I going to turn around and then do the opposite with my right-wing friends? How am I going to sit here and say I can't be friends with my right-wing friends, the ones who I politically align with, because they have said some things that I would never say in a million years? I'm sorry, I reject that paradigm. If I did that, I would be happy, or I would only be, justified in applauding my left-wing friends for not being friends with me. So I just reject the paradigm of doing this whole, I have to explain everything somebody I know has said. Yeah, I'm just against that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. But the context here is also relevant. It's interesting. John Miller's tweet is allegedly shot. It is not killed. The tweet that he put out, which was promptly deleted, was before we had any confirmation of the shooting even occurring, and it was also before we knew that he was likely dead. And at the point that was confirmed, John Miller took down the tweet. So even this tweet is not something that is, or the way it's being portrayed, that he did it basically knowing that Charlie had died. If he had known that, I doubt that John would have said the same thing he did. And I actually thought it was reprehensible. I said as much. Let's listen to the other clip. He says, here's the lead up to that statement, where you can hear his slimy salesman maneuvering as he attempts to defend John Miller's reprehensible tweet, finally saying that he agrees with the substance of what John Miller said. And of course, he does, because Kai says himself that John Miller is a friend of his. All right, let's listen.
While you scroll, take advantage and try to get a word in edgewise here. Again, and I just want to be very clear, I don't think you were calling me evil. You were saying that it would be an evil, and maybe just so we're both on the same page, because I don't want to misconstrue either what you're saying, and I don't want to talk past each other. Do you believe that if I were to defend John Miller and what he said, which you said is an evil act, would I be committing an evil act by defending it?
No. Yeah,
so what would I be doing?
I think you'd be trying to be loyal to your friend. I think you see him in a good light. I think that you probably have just a wrong point of view on the guy. You've said he's your friend and he's a piece of shit.
Have you met the guy in person, by the way?
I don't need to meet him in person. He said that if you can't laugh at Charlie Kirk getting shot, that you don't belong in politics. That's an evil comment. I would never want to hang out with this fucking faggot.
Okay, so
sorry for the swear words.
That is probably most certainly where our point of disagreement comes across. And I think your analysis is good of my position, that I'm probably going to view the things that my friends say, applying more nuance to them that the majority of the public would probably see them with. Is that nuance warranted, unwarranted? I think that's for everybody in themselves to decide. But certainly you could see how you and I might come to different conclusions about the character, about the heart of John Miller, whether he is an evil person or not, based on our personal experiences with him. And I think that a more robust personal experience with an individual would probably cause me to have perhaps a better or more holistic view of his nature than if I was just deciding what he was like based off of a tweet or many tweets. So that would be kind of just the idea. My second point is that I don't think John is ontologically evil. I think he said something that was certainly insensitive, something I disagree with, and something that I don't support him about regarding the recency. Like if he posted this hours after Charlie was shot,
which he did not.
Yeah, I think that was a total misstep. It was irreverent. He shouldn't have done.
Total misstep. I disagree. It was irreverent. I wouldn't do it.
On it, and
he shouldn't have
would
done
say
it.
that to his face.
And I would say that to his face. What part of that is me defending statements about jokes about Charlie Kirk's death?
But
let's actually listen to that again. Maybe I wasn't clear enough in talking to this guy about my opinions on the matter, because he said that I agree with the substance of what he said, and that's the way he's characterizing it. Okay, well, let's listen again to my opinion.
With an individual would probably cause me to have perhaps a better or more holistic view of his nature than if I was just deciding what he was like based off of a tweet or many tweets. So that would be kind of just the idea. My second point is that I don't think John is ontologically evil. I think he said something that was certainly insensitive, something I disagree with, and something that I don't support him about regarding the recency. Like if he posted this hours after Charlie was shot, yeah, I think that was a total misstep. It was irreverent. He shouldn't have done it, and I would say that to his face. But
6 times I tell this guy I don't agree with what he said. 6 times. Are we so serious? This is why the right is losing, is because you can look at something that is just observably true and still be incorrect, still give the wrong take. And you know what it is? It's dishonesty. You know what it is? It is just pure dishonesty. And people don't trust dishonest people.
I agree, actually. And you might disagree with me here, but I actually agree with the substance of what he said.
And substance, by the way, here, I think was the wrong word. I meant sentiment.
I don't think whether it is Charlie Kirk's death or the death of even the members of the church in Michigan or anybody.
Anyway, and then it's the first clip.
I agree, actually.
And what I say, I say is I agree, actually, that you can and should be able to make jokes about everybody. If I make a joke about George Floyd, then who am I to, then say, whoa, you can't make a joke about Charlie Kirk. Now, that's not to say that they're the same. The left equates those two individuals. They're not at all the same. Charlie Kirk was a cultural icon. He was assassinated in cold blood by a crazed leftist. George Floyd was a drug addict. George Floyd was, a career criminal. They're not the same person. But do you think that the guy writing that tweet has ever made a joke about 9/11? That is much worse than the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Thousands of Americans died, women, men, and children died in 9/11. Do you think Raylan has ever made a joke about 9/11? I sure hope not. And that's the point I'm proving, is look, to the extent that we have free speech and to the extent that we engage in humor, I don't think it's right to put an arbitrary line. Would I have made the joke? No, I wouldn't have. But have I, with friends, made Charlie Kirk jokes since? Yeah. I'd be surprised if this guy hasn't. How many right-wingers have sung "We Are Charlie Kirk"? You don't think that's disrespectful or irreverent? Like, come on. Let's be so serious. Like, I thought we were grown-ups. I thought we were adults. Charlie Kirk's murder was nothing but terrible. It was a horrible, horrible assassination. It was brutal. I couldn't condemn it more. And yet, I still believe that there is no need to draw arbitrary lines about what can or cannot be joked about. Sorry. Is that a radical opinion? Again, we go back to 2016. I thought we litigated all of that. I thought we were in consensus. Jimbo, good to see you, friend. Good to see you in the chat. Erica Kirk has marked Charlie's death, perhaps more than the libs. Is that real? Which clips are you referring to? Hey, Jimbo, good to see you. You are getting Kai clips. Yeah, they are. People are starting to release Kai clips. There are Kai clips. That is true. There are now Kai clips. Hey, Joel Berry's listening. Joel Berry's literally listening. Hey, Joel. Hey, Joel, want to come and chat? Joel Berry just tweeted out 5 minutes ago, Kai's currently live trying to spin his own quote, claiming he was actually criticizing Nazis. In the broader context, he was criticizing Nazi LARPers for being bad at being Nazis, unlike him, who's being a Nazi the right way. He ends the quote by saying, you're making us look bad. That's Kai's whole game. He's trying to clean up the Nazi groper image so they can infiltrate conservative institutions. No, hey, buddy, I was insulting them because I think they're ridiculous. If you listen to it, you'll hear that. Hey, Joel, what? Hey, what's up, man? You're watching the stream. You're tweeting about me. Can't we just have a conversation? We're too parasocial, Joel. We are too parasocial. Let's chat it out like men. You and I have never met. Hey, Joel, actually, I want to ask you, Joel, are you going to go and defend the two gentlemen I was talking to? Do you want to go and defend them, actually? Joel, do you want to go run a defense for the two guys I was talking to? You think I'm the bad guy in that situation? You want to go run defense for him? Be my guest. I didn't know the Babylon Bee was doing that. I didn't know you were running defense for, they were just LARPing as Nazis? That's my bad, Joel. That's my bad, Joel. You want to know who used the word LARP? I used the word LARP because it's ridiculous. It's because they like playing dress up. They think they're Nazis. I am calling them LARPers because they look ridiculous. But if you want to go and defend them, Joel, go ahead. Be my guest. That is your prerogative. If you think that's a winning issue for you, you just go ahead. You just go ahead. So, yeah, appreciate you at least quote tweeting me. I appreciate that very much. You know, it's unfortunate. I wish you would have retweeted me earlier. Then we could have gone over the whole thing with your audience. And you would have had to explain, well, why aren't you using the actual video? Why aren't you using the full video where the context is much more clear? I didn't know that we were just removing context. But anyway, let's jump into the rest of the arguments. And I think this whole paradigm, right, I want to just say outright, I reject it. I reject the culture that throws people under the bus for their worst moment. I reject that culture absolutely. Second, it's absolutely what they would use against Trump. How do you think James Lindsay, Joel Berry, and all of these other people, these woke right guys, how do you think they reacted? And James luckily has told us. How do you think they reacted when Trump said, grab her by the P word? I don't want to be vulgar. This is not a vulgar show. What do you think they said? They probably said something along the lines of, we can never elect this man. It's completely morally reprehensible. The arguments they're using against me are arguments they would use against Trump, but right now it's just too unpopular to push back against Trump, so they're not doing it. But I'm waiting, Joel. I'm waiting for you to see that. What about when Trump called a journalist piggy? What about that? I'm sure you had a funny joke about it in the Babylon Bee, actually. I'm sure that's what happened. Hey, Joel, what about any of the bad quotes that any politician has made? What about your own bad quotes, the ones that people haven't dug up? What about those? Are they representative of your whole character? Should I disavow you for them? I reject the paradigm. I reject all of it. We went through 2016. I'm not reliving it. You guys want us stuck in 2016. You wish the election would have gone different. Sorry, not doing that again. My apologies. Let's see if Joel has responded to my direct message. Oh, unfortunately, he has not. Unfortunately, Joel still has not responded. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And the other thing. Kai's in a photo with a guy we hate, Nicholas J. Fuentes. I'm going to be honest, I reject that paradigm too. How many? You know, let's say, look, I'll give you an example. And I want to be clear. These examples are meant to be maximalist. They're not meant to, equate the individuals. And you'll see why in a minute. Donald Trump has many, many photos with Jeffrey Epstein. What do you think Joel Berry has said about that? What do you think James Lindsay has said about that? Now, again, I am not equating Nick Fuentes and Jeffrey Epstein. Want to make that clear. Yeah, I know it sounds a little bit like that, not equating the two. Just want to be clear. It's a maximalist position. Certainly, Jeffrey Epstein is far worse than Nicholas J. Fuentes. Trump has plenty of photos with him. What has Joel Berry said? What if, and we'll make it personal this time, what's the guy's name that bit off a guy's ear? You know, I'm talking about the boxer. Mike Tyson. What if Mike Tyson walked up to you? What if you saw him in public? You'd probably get excited. You'd probably say, hey, Mr. Tyson, can I get a photo? Mike Tyson is a convicted rapist. His ads were playing in the Super Bowl. You going to say anything about that? No, because you don't care. You'll use anything that you think is going to discredit me. You don't actually care. If you cared, you'd probably be a leftist. And I actually think that many of these people are. But I just want to make that clear. I reject the paradigm. Sorry. I will not be bullied into apologizing for being in a photo with somebody. I'm not. Especially not from people who don't even care. I am not going to be bullied into that. I'm sorry. My apologies. That's the apology I'll give. And let me see. I feel like there was one more thing that we were going to get to. I feel like there's one more thing. Yeah, just remember, these people, even though they even claim to be Trump supporters, they use the arguments the left makes against Trump. Jonathan Kieperman was at the last TPUSA event. Charlie Kirk was amplifying Steve Saylor. Steve Saylor's a racist. Basil is right in the chat. This is all a cynical hit job. This is all a cynical hit job. But yeah, anyway. So that's the take there. And hey, you know what? I think, you know, that this is really the big extent of what we'll be going over. I'm sorry, guys, that this has dragged on so much. There's also, you know, I'll say, there are people who are talking about the size of my glutes. There are people who have been talking about the size of my glutes. I can't deny that one. I can't deny that one. Sorry, guys, can't deny it. My glutes are huge. Can't deny that. I apologize. But yeah, I do not at all subject myself, and I don't think you should either, to this stupid paradigm. I'll tell you exactly what I'm interested in. This is the last time. And then, barring some crazy other extraordinary revelation, I'm not going to be covering this anymore. I'll just be talking about the news because the war with Iran is a bigger deal, because the elections coming up are a bigger deal. Let me just say this one more time. What I'm concerned about is doing right by this country and its people. I will try my best every day to do that well. I will try my best every day to improve. I've made mistakes in the past. I know it. I've prayed for forgiveness. I continue to make mistakes. I do like when people call me for it. I do like when good friends, people who are in good faith, call me and say, hey, you said this and I think that was a little out of line. I rely on people checking me like that. Every day, post-mission, that sense of the spirit, you know, it's just not as loud as it was during the mission. And I do rely on some brotherly, loving correction. These guys aren't doing that. And I'm wise enough to realize that, which is why I'm wise enough not to listen. Sorry, I've got my X feed literally. My X feed is refreshing. Joel Berry just retweeted the stream. Joel, thank you. Joel, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. That is hilarious. I encourage everybody who's finding the stream, because Joel Berry has been kind enough to repost it. Joel Berry hosting the stream. Thank you, Joel. I encourage you all to skip back about 30 minutes in this live stream, and you'll be able to hear my explanation of the quote that Joel Berry keeps quoting. You'll hear the full quote. You'll hear the video. And you'll be able to assess on your own. I can give you some background. There's some stuff that isn't explained. Hey, Frank McCormick, you keep asking, I explained it. Please watch the stream. Anyway, and then we'll put a poll in the chat to see if you guys, if we join a live stream. We might honestly not. We actually, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we will. Those people want to farm me for content. Screw them. Screw them. They don't care. Uncensored America can't go a second without muting me. Yeah, how uncensored is that? Sorry, I won't be your content. My apologies. The thing that I dislike the most probably in this whole game is that, and this is the thesis. This is before the super chats. What we'll close out with. There is no true understanding, even among Christian nationalists, of principles of the gospel. Now, I don't purport to know everything. I don't purport to be the most intelligent person. I don't purport at all to, know everything. But I do genuinely take serious my faith. And I try my best to emulate, to embody its values. People can make all kinds of assumptions of my identity, assumptions of my character. I think if you look at it, if you look at the body of my work, hold on, pause. If you look at everything I've done, you look at the way I interact with people, I think there's a reason why a lot of people are vouching for me, even in Joel Berry's comments, even in James Lindsay's comments. And sincerely, obviously I'm frustrated by the fact that they have taken such a desire to decapitate me, but I love them too. And I forgive them. I genuinely am trying my best to not take it personally, and I will pray for them in whichever conflicts or faults they may have. And I am more than happy if there's anybody in this chat who is sincerely concerned about something and engages in good faith. I'm more than happy to send a long voice message, to answer a DM. I've done that. I've done that routinely. It's what I do. I only do it contingent, right, on that good faith. But yeah, I'm more than happy to. And although I'm not a perfect person, I genuinely do strive to take my faith serious, and I hope that is something that becomes clear. Now, I'd like to read a verse from the Doctrine and Covenants. This is from section 121, and it regards chastising. It regards chastising. It regards the way that you correct. And we'll read as well from the Bible, because we love the Bible. We love the Bible and what it says about forgiveness. Here is the verse from Doctrine and Covenants. It says, this is important, no power or influence can or ought to be maintained by the virtue of the priesthood, only by persuasion, by long-suffering, by gentleness and meekness, and by love unfeigned, by kindness and pure knowledge, which shall greatly enlarge the soul, without hypocrisy and without guile, reproving betimes with sharpness, when moved upon by the Holy Ghost, and then showing forth afterwards an increase of love toward him who thou hast reproved, lest he esteem thee to be his enemy, that he may know that thy faithfulness is stronger than the cords of death. Now, if anybody truly believes that my opinions, that my views are so terrible, I would encourage them to reprove sharply and then with kindness. Then with, and it's actually very critical here, an increase of love. Unfortunately, I just haven't seen that from anybody. And let me look it up here as well. There's a verse, I believe, in Romans that I love. There's a verse in Romans that I love. I'm going to pull out my gospel library, my handy-dandy gospel library. And there's a great quote. Let's see here. In Galatians is really good. But the one I love is 18 in Romans 12. And we'll read more than just Romans 18. I love this. Let love, well, this is starting in verse 9 for those who like to follow along with the scriptures. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil and cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you. Bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind toward one another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estates. Be not wise in your own conceits. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. I love that. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in doing so, thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. And I'll be honest, repentance is the thing that is so misunderstood. Repentance is this value so critically misunderstood and so scarcely applied in politics. Obviously, I've said here that there are things that I do not care to be bullied into publicly repenting for, because I don't think that repentance is genuine. I think most people know it's not. It is actually a fetish. It is a fetish of some to exert power over others and get them to grovel, get them to bend down, to kiss their feet. And like we've said before, when this whole Rift TV thing was blowing up, nobody was interested in the repentance and the improvement of anybody involved. They just wanted to cause more suffering. And they made themselves the arbiters of when somebody had suffered enough. I reject that outright. I'll be honest, if there's anything that I am most ashamed of, it is the fact that in the past, I have been so quick to be cruel to others. It is that in the past, I have so rarely considered an individual's heart and their hope to repent. Now, I don't, by the way, believe that everybody is equally interested in repentance, but I have since realized that I ought to be a lot more merciful than just. And that's a difficult thing, and in politics, I think we need an excess, actually. We need more justice than we're currently getting. But I myself have a far greater capacity for mercy than often I show to others. And I really do pray that God forgives me for my quickness to cruelty. And know as well that God expects the same. God expects that we forgive our brother. God expects that we help them through repentance. That was the verse in Galatians. Let's actually read that verse. That Galatians verse. This is Galatians 1, I believe. No, Galatians 6:1. It says, Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Based. And if I can even make an exhortation, if there is anything that I hope to instill upon people, it is that I am an imperfect man. There's plenty of things here that, I'll be honest, are kind of nothing burgers. And that is why we've been winning on this so much. It's because people they're sick of the cancel culture. They are sick of having one thing said, one photo taken, define a man's life forever. They are sick of guilt by association. We are all sick of playing by the politically correct rules of the past. But that doesn't excuse cruelty. That doesn't excuse evil, malice, irreverence. We should all strive to be more reverent. Doesn't mean that I can't do anything wrong. It means let's all just apply the standards of the gospel a little bit more earnestly. And let's show that charity to literally everybody. I will try to show that charity to Blake Moore. I will try to show it to Joel Barry. I will try to show it to James Lindsay. I will try to show it to Captive Dreamer. And to the extent that it is difficult, I will pray for greater strength to do so. And I know that I've heard those words before, and I've thought that they were empty words. I've thought that that was, you know, a tokenization of Christianity. There's a reason, by the way, that I don't often repeat or shout or chant Christ is King. It's not because I don't believe it. It's because I want to be absolutely sincere when I say it. I want to make sure that every part of me truly means that and is not saying it because it's something that's being chanted by a crowd. But I genuinely, I do believe that we are so cruel to each other, and that if we continue to play this guilt by association game, if we continue to play this let's look at everybody's worst moment, we will destroy ourselves and we will lose our country with it. And so I will not bend to the exhortations of people who are not interested in my spiritual improvement or my personal improvement, and I will work eagerly with those who are. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm excited for the work we're going to do. We are going to elect very good people. We are going to absolutely get the right people in office. Thank you sincerely for hearing me out. Thank you for listening. You can make your own assumptions. You can have your own takeaways, but that is genuinely, that's my take, and that is the philosophy that acts as a girdle around all of it. So, hey, let's jump into the Super Chats. Thank you so much, seriously. And let's start with, we'll see how many there are. If there's too many, I don't know. I don't want to be irreverent about it, especially when we leave off on a spiritual thought. That's something, hey, that's something that is a little weird, is, you know, and a lot of people, I also want to say this. I think I'm a very different person than I was before the mission. I want to say that. My direction, my emphasis, the way I do politics, it's changed a lot, and I hope that people can hear me out. I hope people will be willing to conversate with me. But hey, let's jump in here. And we've got a super chat to start. We'll move to the super chat portion. Thank you, Joel Berry, for hosting the stream. Thank you for boosting. Much appreciated. Yo! Dude, this beautiful stream, this amazing, lovely chat, and we got our first super chat from Ian.
$10. Kai will be in Snow Bunny Heaven soon.
In the chat. There he is. There's Tasteful Thickness.
The Tasteful Thickness just subscribed on YouTube.
Thank you. Hey! Huge super chats. Thank you, ALX. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Dwarfus.
Alex sent $33 and 33 cents. Congratulations on the newfound infamy.
Ah, thank you, ALX. You're not super infamous yourself, but maybe I'm up there with you. I know you've probably accrued some enemies over the years. You've probably accrued some enemies. So, yeah, hey, thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see what's going on. There's a guy, by the way. People keep like posting an interview I did forever ago. You should just ask the guy who did the interview about me. Just ask him. But hey, thank you for subscribing. Let's see. We had a super chat from Jonah. Thank 4891, 20 buckaroos. Hey, thank you, man. He sends, this money is to cut the mullet. Readopting your missionary haircut would perhaps be uncovering your power levels, but you should do it. Why, like a skinhead? You're telling me I should get a skinhead haircut after this? No, I'm joking. I've debated it. I'm probably going to cut my hair down a little bit because I like the mullet. I actually like the flow. I'm going to keep it around, but I do want to kind of just make it a little bit more orderly. I think it's just gotten really long on the sides. We'll keep the mullet, especially through the summer. But yeah, eventually we will cut it. But hey, thank you, friend. What a super chat from Soul Invictus 66. Oh, I gotta turn down the game now. There you go.
Sol_Invictus 66 sent $10 goat.
Thank you, Soul. Love you, big guy. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words. Appreciate you. And yo, LDG the Beamer. This freaking Beamer. My Beamer. What's up, my Beema? So based. So based.
LDG the Beamer sent $67.67.
Was he
I
Australian?
like those that hate you. Let us biblically know them. Hand over mouth emoji.
Let us biblically know them. I just got that. That's actually funny. That's actually a funny use of that. Let us biblically know them. And he knew him. And he forcefully knew him. Man, that is funny. That is funny. Hey, thank you, LDG. Huge super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Good to see you. Yo! Bo Biden, wake up. Is that a Democrat in the chat? I'm joking.
Jokesitten_wake up sent $5. You are our future Reichsfuhrer.
I don't know about that. I'm disavowing that, actually. Yo! Look who it is. Fubsy freaking Wubsy. Dude, I love this guy. I love Fubs. Fubs the fish, man.
He sent $20, bro. I can't believe I missed the show.
I can't believe it either. I can't believe you missed the show. It's actually crazy. What happened to Chipper? Oh, Joel Berry commented on my stream too. He said, what happened to Chipper and Jovial? I'm still Chipper and Jovial. What are you talking about? It's funny because if people watch my show, it's like I usually get a little bit. I go a little off. Yeah, come on. I go a little off. What's a guy... What, you can't be Chipper and Jovial and go off sometimes? Pfft, you people don't get it. Hey, Fubs, thank you for the 20. Legend. Love you. Hey, I love you, big guy. Thanks for sticking with me. And then we have a super chat from Mr. Kellogg. Thomas Kellogg, -P7Z. Thank you for the 10. He says, keep being based. Hey, I will be. I will keep being based, man. I appreciate you. Almost 4,000 viewers, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty based. Almost 4,000 viewers. Love that. And we are loving that, and we are loving to see that. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I love you very much. Seriously, if you haven't followed on Kick, follow on Kick. It's in the link. What else do we have here? Yo, Gerard the lawyer. I love this guy.
Gerard the lawyer sent $25. I've been working overtime defending you on X.
Dude.
I disagree with you on a few things, but I believe you are decent and a good faith actor
Patriot.
with important things to say.
Patriot, man. Hey, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Gerard, I'm going to be honest, even more than people who support me no matter what, I really, really like the people. Don't get me wrong. I love the people that support me no matter what. I love you guys. But I really, really appreciate people like you, Gerard, who have disagreements with me, but have made a personal assessment of my character and judge it to not be malicious, to not be a facade. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you. I've been seeing your responses. I think all of them have been very considerate, very good. And I wanted to be clear about that as well. Like, I saw people defending me when that... When Joel Berry kept posting the quote, right, about the white nationalists and whatnot, when people kept quoting that, I saw a lot of people defending me saying, it doesn't even sound like him. And I kind of didn't like that because I didn't want anybody to defend me when I didn't deserve it, right? So I'm sorry if anybody was tricked into thinking that wasn't me. I never claimed that. I will always be upfront and honest with you guys, especially when there's stuff like that being thrown around. That being said, I think it's totally explainable, and I hope you've seen it explained, and I hope you can understand. And this is a super coordinated attack. I mean, this is in no way is a good faith. Hey, Kino's Journey. What's up, twin? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the 5, big guy.
Kino's Journey sent $5. Wonderful stream, Kai.
Hey, thank you, man. Hey, I appreciate you, big guy. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the 5. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. You're a legend for that. You was a legend for that. Sorry, I'm reading funny stuff. I may or may not have been reached out to by a prominent old guard conservative may or may not be hey, this is interesting. Hey, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Hey, thank you for the 5. Thank you for the 5. Joe Biden, wake up. Let's go. Love that guy. Joe Biden, wake up. You're a new addition.
Joe Biden _wake up sent $5. When is your next college debate?
Hey, thank you. The next college debate, that's a good question. I think, when's the next one? It may be coming up in a couple of months in Chicago, potentially. We'll see. Things remain to be fleshed out, but that's a possibility. I'll be at Georgia Tech, and I'll be at Colorado Mesa. Those won't be debates. Actually, Colorado Mesa might be, but it'll be a speech. It'll be me talking to the college Republicans there. So those will be the next 2, and they'll both be in April. So be sure to be there. It's going to be awesome. Actually, Colorado Mesa, I'm trying to think if that's when exactly that is. I'm going to have to get a grasp of that, actually. I'm going to have to take another look. Get a grasp of that. Let's go. 4,000 viewers. Huge. This is a promissory note for $5. Is that how you pronounce that? Promissory or promissory? Like, I know what it is, but I've never heard it pronounced. For $5 because you speak Spanish. You're the most promising groiper to date. All right, well, yeah, well, I reject the framing, but thank you for the Spanish. Hey, I love Spanish. Thanks, Jacob Frank. Thorkel the tall kicking yappy. Dude, hold on, we'll wait for it to read.
Thorkel the tall kicking yappy chihuahuas to the moonbeamer.
Based.
$5. Mog is inevitable.
Mog is inevitable, dude.
Echo chamber won't stop us.
So true, bro. Literally so true. Well, what's funny is there's this guy, the guy that has been like going after me about me saying that I think you should be able to joke about anything. That guy, he just hates Mormons. He really just hates Mormons. He just hates Mormons a ton. But Mog is inevitable. But the Mog is inevitable. The mogging, the great mogging, is totally inevitable. Just FYI. Just FYI. So, yeah. But thank you, Thorkel. Good to see you. Thorkel, it's good to see you, my man. That reminds me, I gotta finish Vinland Saga. Yo! Look at Ian. Man, you the goat for that. You the goat for that, man. Rainbow Gang. Could be playing some Rainbow.
At Uank sent $4.99 on YouTube. Rainbow GNG.
We could do some Rainbow. We do some Rainbow Six Siege. The problem is when I play too much Rainbow Six Siege, my desk ends up in shambles. Do you guys want to see this? Do you want to see the state of my desk right now? 1's in the chat if you want to see the state of my desk. 2's in the chat if you'd rather not be intimidated. You guys want to see my desk? It's mostly Clash Royale. Clash Royale gets me to Crash Out Royale. But yeah, 1's in the chat if you want to see my desk. Also, dude, can I say who this is that just texted me? Can I say who it is? I don't know. It's a big name. It's a big name. It's a big name. You bought me a new desk? Sorry, man. All right, here it is, guys. Studio's going to break for a minute. There you go. That's the desk. Sorry. Hey, I use that as a pickup line. Hey, want to come over and see my desk? Does it work? Yeah, it's we're in rough shape. We're in rough shape. Take notes, Joel Berry. No. Yeah, Joel, you want to know what a big tough guy I am? Just look at my desk. Actually, really sucks because I like punched right above where the, ow, I punched right above where like the leg is, and there's too much support. Like there's no give. So it actually really hurt my knuckle. I'm such a knucklehead. Such a knucklehead. But, yo, thank you. Yo, Thomas. What a goat. Appreciate you, King. Appreciate you, King.
At Thomas1_126 sent $10 on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed DC.
I loved it.
If you ever come back, you are still invited to dinner with my granddad and I.
Aw. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Sorry I didn't take you up on it. To be fair, there's maybe an operational security issue. But nonetheless, I am very flattered, and I appreciate it. You're a very kind man. You're a very kind man. So I appreciate you big time. I appreciate you. Yeah, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about how funny it is. Spent millions of dollars on a 70s style studio, but spent $5 on his desk. Yeah, true. True, Linux. I spent millions. $17 million is how much my property here at Palo Verde, California costs. It cost me $17 million, and yet I can't afford a new desk. That's why I need the super chats. Hey, Patriot in control. Whoa! Mr. Patriot. Thank you.
At Patriot in Control sent $4.99 on YouTube. Don't worry, Q Patriots are in control.
Q Patriots in control, then I have nothing to fear. Then I have literally nothing to fear. As long as the Q Patriots are in control, I've been told there is nothing I need fear. So I feel good. I feel secure. Leontardo, it's actually just Palo Verde. Okay, it's Palo Verde. You know the city in California? It's called Palo Verde. Look it up. Okay? Okay, guys? If I'm wrong about this, no, I'm right. Palo Verde. I'm right. Okay? Okay, Mr. Leontardo? Okay? Want to make that clear. You're not correcting me out here. I know English. And I know Spanish too. So, anyway. What else was I going to say? Man. Oh, some awesome people following me. Love this. People are mad that I posted a video speaking Spanish. Oh well. Ron Leuenberger says, in the middle of a war against Iran, you pick a man whose only loyalty is to hatred of Jews and Israel? Lovely. Literally how? Literally how do you pull that from all of the content I've produced? How do you pull that my only loyalty is to hatred of Jews and Israel? I don't hate anybody. I genuinely, sincerely, I do not hate anybody. I don't hate any of my detractors. I love them all. I genuinely do. I loker-genuinely, I genuinely do. I hiker-genuinely do, I should say. Like, that's crazy. That is like, how do you pull that? How do you pull that from my content? The issue is it's not pulled from my content. The issue is that I haven't been. It hasn't been pulled from my content at all. Anyway. Dude, can I just say, I love Greg Hughes. Can I just say, this is a guy who gets it. This is a guy who is not blind, who is very smart, who has a storied career in politics in Utah, and yet is honest and good faith enough to give a guy like me a shake, hear me out, and even have me on his show. I genuinely appreciate it so much. So can we get a W in the chat for all the super chatters and for Greg? Can we get a W in the chat for Greg? Can we do that, please? I love this guy. I freaking love this guy. Yeah. You know what's crazy too? I just thought about this. The people calling me a Nazi, they are literally giving the left ammunition to kill me. And I know that sounds dramatic. And I hope that nobody ever does so because they are able at least to determine that I am like not a big threat. Maybe that sounds bad. Like I want to be a threat to the left, but I don't want to be like a Nazi. But by throwing that word around, by calling me a Nazi, by calling me a fascist, those people literally expose me to an increased risk of a violent attack happening against me because that word is so violently charged in a left-wing vocabulary. And then who are the people that they team up with? They team up with left-wing journalists. Right-Wing Watch is covering it. Ben Lorber, this guy had been around forever. This guy's like stalking me since I was 17. I mean, come on. Like, this is literally, they literally are like trying to get me killed. And what's scary about this, I'll be honest, I've thought about this. Hey, biggest stalker, you hold on. Somebody time out biggest stalker from the chat. We're not going to make threats of violence against anybody, actually. We're not going to talk about having their address. Can somebody, I don't know if we have, I guess we don't have any mods in the live chat. Yeah, sorry, dude. You got to cut that out. You're getting muted or banned or whatever I can do because of that. I'm sorry. I know you probably weren't saying anything serious there, but yeah, just can't have that. Just can't have that. I'll see if I can just give you a timeout. I'm just gonna mute you. Yeah. Anyway. It was on X. Don't worry, Ian. Yeah, just wanted to. We just got to be very clear about this stuff. Anyways. Let's see here. Is there anything we're missing out on? Is this guy on Latter-day Saints on YouTube? Yeah, I am. I am on Latter-day Saints on YouTube. I was just on this week. Or last week, I should say. That was awesome. Love Jackson. I actually saw him today. I saw Jackson from Latter-day Saints today. Total goat. We love that guy. Freaking love this guy. And once again, I rented equipment, but I got the wrong thing. Got the wrong thing. Got the wrong cable. Got the wrong cable, man. Jackson is okay for a Marine. Hey, cut him some slack. We love Jackson. Great guy. Totally great guy. They are our guys. The Paul brothers, Hayden and Jackson, they are our guys. They are awesome. I don't know if they'd want me saying that, but I love these guys. I love these guys a lot. Total legends. Hold on, I gotta change. I just realized that the audio for the alerts is really quiet. Or really loud, and then it gets quiet. Somebody messaged me about that. Opinion on Phil Lyman? I like Phil. Why did you mog Dean Withers so hard? Did you feel bad? Oh, speak of the devil. Oh, now it's way quiet. Hey, Lobotomy, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Lobotomy, for the $10. Thank you so much, Lobotomy, for the $10. He says, I'm no longer LDS, but have a lot of appreciation for my Mormon upbringing. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, we cook. We kind of cook. We instill good values, true. Deep understanding of Christ, true. Then he says, if you're the future of the GOP, we are in good hands. Man, I appreciate you. You know what I think? There's a lot of people who are uncomfortable with how nice I am, with what a loving and chipper and happy and smiley guy I am. I think it's because they don't know enough Mormons. I think that if you live outside of Utah, you know, the chipper joviality, because everybody else is so depressed, you know, it's really crazy. They can't believe it. They can't believe that I that I am a chipper guy all the time. They literally cannot believe it. They can't stomach it. So yeah, just wanted to address that because I think, you know, hey, if you guys lived in Utah, I think everybody would get it. If all my detractors lived in Utah, we'd all be part of the same ward. We'd all be hanging out. We'd be vibing and chilling. We'd be hanging out. It'd be sick. Yeah, MFers are like, he's performing as what? As a nice guy? You can't even be a nice person anymore? What is this? What does this world come to when you can't even be a nice guy anymore? Girls can't even trust me because they don't believe in nice guys anymore. Oh, small Graydon guy. What a goat. Ah. Hey, be nice. Don't call him Joe Stinky. Don't call him Joel Stinky. That's not nice. That is not nice, okay? Hey, small Graydon guy, don't be mean. I'm joking. That's funny. That's funny. I love you. I love you, small Graydon guy. What a goat. I'm trying to go to the temple for the first time. Dude, you're going to love it. The temple is awesome. That is a place where you grow closer to Christ. It is awesome. It is so freaking epic. The temple's a great place. I got to spend more time in the temple. I wonder if there's still a session tonight. I wonder if there is still a session tonight. I might just do one tonight. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can schedule an appointment. All right, guys. Live temple session appointment scheduling. More like Joel Dingleberry, am I right? You're so right, Jack Attack MMA. You're so right, dude. You're so right about that one. You cooked. You cooked with that one. You cooked with that one. Usually his last is 9 p.m. Well, it's not 9 yet, is it? Yeah, it's only 7:44. It's only 7:44. We could be chilling. We could be mad chilling. Oh, let me see something. I'm gonna see if I can say, hey TR, good to see you in the chat. That's my Taylor. It's my Taylor right there, my dog. Do Mormons sing to God? Yeah, we sing hymns, of course. Hymns of praise. Of course. Let me see. Yeah, last one starts at 8. We're kind of cooked, gentlemen. We are kind of cooked. No, last one starts at 8:30. We're still kind of cooked. Because you have to be there by 8:15. Kind of cooked. Gentlemen, this sucks. I got to go to the temple tomorrow. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been. Got to go to the temple. Salt Lake City has problems because they're only demographically successful part of because they're the only demographically successful part of the country. The smog gets a little more trapped against the mountains every year as it gets developed. Yeah, it's brutal, dude. It's called inversion. Inversion is where, you've got hot air and cold air and it's pushed up against the mountains, and because of the way that, different air rises versus falls, cold air traps hot air in the valley and traps smog. Hot air rises, but smog gets trapped. It's brutal. It is brutal, dude. The smog in Utah is actually the worst. Oh. Bro, somebody said, Kai, when are you dropping the Christianity LARP and embrace your ancestors' pagan religion? Never. Never. Never in my life. Sorry, I believe in Jesus Christ. My bad. My apologies. I will not be converting to any tree worship or rock worship. I believe in the rock. Okay? And that's Jesus. Anyways. Yeah, I think, things are honest. I think things are calming down. I don't think things are getting too crazy. Should we join this this thing? Let's, you know what? I feel it. Let's just do some content. Feel free to keep sending super chats, ladies and gentlemen. Always love that. Always love super chats, guys. Okay? powerchat.live/kaiclips again. Here's the link for those who need. Oh, that's Doctrine and Covenants. My bad, gentlemen. Anyway, that's the way that you guys can look at the verse that I was citing earlier. That's the verse I was citing earlier. This is the super chat link. Shout out Arizona LDS. Yeah, shout out my boys in Gilbert. Hey, yo, shout out my boys in Gilbert, Arizona. Shout out Zona. Yo, hey, Mr. Hart, why are you saying that I'm from Bollywood? Why are you saying that I went to India? That's not the case. That is not the case. Never been in my life to India. Never once. And I don't plan to either. For your information. What were we just about to do? Oh, yeah. We were looking at the whatchamacallit. We were looking at the whatchamacallit on Twitter. Let's see if we can join this. Let's see if we can... is it still going? Is Uncensored America still uncensored? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it, guys. What do you guys think? Guys, one in the chat. Oh, I think they ended it. I think they ended the live stream. Man. They ended their live stream. What the freak? That's crazy. SMH. They ended the live stream. Hey, Uncensored America, you said that you would have me on. You said it would be my show. You said it would be my show. You invited me last night, then you didn't even let me know you were going to do it? What the freak, guys? You guys want to hear my my interaction? We'll listen to my interaction. This was funny. It's titled Kai Schwimmer Fail. Hegseth 2028. Let's listen in.
This is absolutely a groiper.
Agrees with the substance of what John Miller said. And
I have to say,
you know, when it's a
funny is something. Okay.
And the
Yo, Tobuscus was vouching for me, I think.
them. I also want to be sure that I'm not advocating for censorship. I'm not saying that people shouldn't say whatever they want, okay? But you need to realize that just because you can say something doesn't mean that you won't have repercussions for stating it. So if people want to say things like this and joke about Charlie Kirk's assassination, I don't want to restrict their ability to do that beforehand, but they need to realize that they can't just wave the comedy flag like Dave Chappelle afterwards and say, I'm okay.
I can't. I just hold on, Tony.
When do I join?
He's not the only person.
Where are we? Where are we? Where are we?
Completely.
Come on.
People who
there I am. There I am, guys. Hold on. Let's see me. Let's see me. I want to hear my part. I'm very selfish. I want to hear my part.
Democrat. Let's try. Or
section.
By the way,
dude, the funniest thing is all the reactions. The reactions are actually hilarious. All right, hold on. I'll share this with you guys. I want you to see it. It's so funny. This is so freaking funny. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Glorpus, guys. We're about to have a lot of fun. This is so good. I can't help it. It was hilarious. Uncensored America. Yo, Uncensored America, by the way. Uncensored America, by the way. We'll see about that. We'll see how uncensored they are. All right. We ready?
Like Nick.
Hold on. Where is this? When did they bring me in? When?
He's great. Not here today. The shit back.
When did they bring me in, dude?
He has.
Oh, am I just there constantly?
You can look up.
Anyway, so I would be happy to let you know right after my.
Oh, there it is.
Everyone should vote for Democrats. Just
hold on.
As Kai's
those guys that we were talking about just a few minutes ago.
Yeah. And by the way, you post about Kai, and all of a sudden, all of the groipers appear defending him. You know, like
yes.
How does that happen in 2 seconds?
My comment section.
How does that happen? How does that happen in 2 seconds? Oh, I don't know. Maybe people share it in group chats. You know, the way that you shared your tweet and it had 11 retweets and 4 likes and 90 views. Okay. Yeah.
Kai's we should invite him.
Toby,
let him speak his.
Dude, Toby is such a goat. He's like, heck yeah, let's have him up here.
Zone piece.
I always give people the right to reply. Kai is more than welcome to speak.
How's Elijah
Raylan's gonna
doing,
shit
Mr.
all
Schwimmer?
over him.
Come on up, Kai.
All right, as we work out the kinks and we work on sending
the what?
Kai
the what?
Request to speak. Perhaps you want to give us a plug for our sponsor?
Oh no, we'll do that in a bit.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? Why did I get an invite? I thought this was going to be my show. I thought I was going to be the guest of honor.
Let's start with this.
I tagged you.
How can you run the College
guest of honor would be a
Republicans of
strategy.
America when you are at the feet of a groiper that says we should all vote for Democrats?
So that's a fantastic question.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I've got in my right ear Hall & Oates Out of Touch, which is my intro music. So I will have to delay for a couple of hours to do my own show, and then I'd be happy.
All right, that was really.
And then he muted me.
And then he muted me. Mormon
Who listens to Hall & Oates?
Give him an honest question. Get a.
Now that was crazy. That was when this crossed the line. That was when it stopped being funny. The guy goes, "Who listens to Hall & Oates?" Everybody who's cool, everybody who likes music, everybody who is trying to not want to die every single minute of it every day, everybody who wants happiness in their life, people who have kids, white people, who listens to Hall & Oates. That is the most third world coded sentence I've ever heard in my life. What you just said That was the most third world coded sentence I have ever heard. I don't think there's anything you could say that could improve my perception of you after having said that.
Slippery Mormon salesman answer. Kai, just, real
I sell
quick,
nothing. I sell nothing.
Everyone should vote for Democrats. Just yes or no. Is Nick wrong?
I love this, by the way. It's a stream about me. Hey, Kai, do you agree with this thing another person said?
Yeah, so
and then I got muted. And so I'm doing the laugh emoji.
Is Nick wrong? It's an easy question.
Whoa, I'm trying to talk. Who keeps muting me?
I think you're faking
Thought
it.
this was a free speech, uncensored America platform.
You weren't muted. I think you're faking it.
I literally was muted by host. Why would I fake being
yes
muted?
Or no?
Anyway,
yes or
so
no?
I would be happy to let you know right after my show. I'll be
again. He can't.
And then he muted
yes
me
that
again.
Time I did mute it. And again, you ask a simple yes or no question, like is.
I love the laughing, dude. The laughing emojis go so hard. They go so hard, dude.
Spurgs out with 15 emojis. Cannot answer a yes or no question. This is a disgraceful. A display of what Gen Z can do,
Holy,
yes
you
no,
got rage baited. Bro got rage baited. He literally got smile baited, bro. Bro got smile baited like crazy.
Was Nick Fuentes right or wrong
So
to
funny.
say that people should vote for the Democrats? You're a leader of college Republicans of America. I don't think this is a hard question. Was Nick right or wrong to say that people should vote Democrat? Let's try again. Right or wrong?
Oh, I'm excited. Well, I'll give you my answer. It'll be on my show, Out of Touch.
What a bag. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's too good.
Too complicated,
It's too
gentlemen.
good.
Right or wrong, come listen to my show. I'm a Mormon salesman. I can't actually just tell the truth. I have to try and sell you. This is what they teach
Dude.
at Mormon school.
Mormon school, by the way.
Raylan, could you tell us a little about
Mormon
I
school.
don't know that much about them.
And then this is when I left because I had to do my stream. But I haven't heard this part. Let's listen to his Mormon expose.
Yeah, Out of Touch is a great name for a show. Just by the way.
Yeah. Literally.
But
it is.
Yeah,
it's super intelligent. Hey Raylan, ever heard of a double entendre? It's the name of the band. And it's also a call back or a call to the idea that the right wing is out of touch because we're conservative, because we're traditionalists, because we want to go back in time. But it's actually a reappropriation of that because that's what we need. We need to be out of touch. It's actually, what you need is an adult education. Oh, banger. Stop being such a rich girl. Getting all mad because I'm Sarah Smile. Look me in my private eyes and tell me that you don't need an adult education. You're just acting like a man-eater. What a banger, bro. What a banger.
There's a lot to get into with them. I mean, again, Brigham Young, their most revered leader, the guy that they name schools after constantly, highways and all the rest of it, he personally...
This guy knows nothing. Just from that sentence, I know that this guy knows literally nothing about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There's a university called Brigham Young University. You think Brigham Young is our most revered leader because his name is on Brigham Young University? He founded the University of Utah. He was the governor of Utah. You think it's crazy to call a school after your governor or a street after your governor? He was a prophet too, yeah, absolutely, but he's not more revered than Joseph Smith, and he's certainly not more revered, neither of them are, more than Jesus Christ. Literally, what are you saying, dude? BYU was founded second. The real guy behind BYU is Carl G. Mazer. What's going on?
signed an order that resulted in the deaths of dozens and dozens of Christians. And then on top of that,
which is that?
Church, took oaths of vengeance against the United.
Which is that? Hold on, we're gonna Google this. Hold on, sorry, just a second. Fact check. Which order did Brigham Young sign that killed thousands of Christians? Which is what he claimed in one of his tweets. What is this guy talking about? Oh, there's no credible historical evidence that Brigham Young signed an order to kill thousands of Christians. Okay. He did sign an extermination order against the Native Americans. Okay, well, Raylan probably thinks that's based. But yeah, that was a conflict. We were at war with them. Very different situation. They're probably thinking of the Mountain Meadows massacre. But what is confusing, actually, is the fact that Brigham Young never ordered any of the Mormon, troops in the region, any of the saints, to kill the 120 Christian immigrants, right? Who were passing through Utah territory. He actually never was even proved, and it says as much. What does it say here? There's insufficient evidence to prove that Young directly ordered it. In fact, here's the crazier thing. He wrote a letter calling it off. He wrote a letter saying, stand down, don't harm them. The letter didn't arrive on time because it traveled by horseback, and the massacre had already occurred when Brigham Young's letter arrived. Brigham Young not only did not order the extermination of all of them, he explicitly warned and told people not to. And guess what? The people who committed the Mountain Meadows massacre, they were held guilty. They were found guilty in front of a jury, and the jury was Mormon. Other Mormons convicted these people for the crime of the Mountain Meadows massacre. I mean, come on. Can you say anything without lying?
United States until the 1920s and didn't disavow those comments publicly until the 1990s. They were overrepresented in the deep state, CIA, FBI, etc.
Yo! Legend. My goat. My goat.
At Spence Dog 3000 sent $2 on YouTube.
Hey, Spence Dog.
Performances have you done?
Spence Dog, thank you. I have only ever done, the last one I did was in middle school. The last theatrical performance I did was in middle school. And in 7th grade, I did Mary Poppins. And in 8th grade, I did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And I actually like theater, but I didn't take it up after middle school. I still have a creative, maybe theater kid streak in me. But I didn't take it up after middle school. I didn't do it in high school. I just did it in middle school because we had an amazing theater program. Like our Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the middle school coordinator, the one that was in charge of the play, she was renowned for this. And she literally had a real, moving, driving car. It was like a converted golf cart that we drove around on stage for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Based.
And there's just there's a lot to get into.
I was a couple things. I did a lot. I was in the choir. I recorded the music for the show, for the soundtrack. That's how real we were. We literally recorded a soundtrack, a backtrack, so that when we sang, you would hear us also in a choir playing behind it. I played the role of the guy that sells them the car. I was a scene lead. I also was one of the inventors when Grandpa Potts has been tied up, when he's under arrest and needs to invent Chitty Chitty Bang Bang all over again by what's the guy's name what's the villain in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Baron von Bombast. Yeah, Baron Bombast. When Baron Bombast has him tied up and he needs to create Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with a bunch of scientists, I was one of the scientists. I was a couples dancer. I was a single dancer. I did a bunch in that play. I was a jack of all trades in that play.
Didn't the Mormons shoot Charlie Kirk?
To be before
That's crazy too. Bro says the Mormons shot Charlie Kirk. No, dude. A crazy raging atheist who rebelled against the church and his parents shot Charlie Kirk. Yo, Nate Blue suspicious hard drive beamer. Let's flip and go. Thank you, man. Thank you for the 5.
Nate Blue and Suspicious Hard Drive Beamer sent $5. It's the Beamer Common Era. Y'all are just living in it.
Man, that's so true. That's literally so true, bro. It's Beamer era. You're not a Beamer, you better get one. You better become one. You better become a Beamer. You're not a Beamer, you better become one. Oh, by the way, I can say it. You want to know who reached out? Who we're gonna be chatting with potentially next Monday? Dinesh D'Souza. We're going to be discussing we're going to be talking with an old guard of the American right, one of the OGs, Dinesh D'Souza. We'll be talking with him potentially. Big announcement, big announcement. Not all of it is figured out, but Yeah. Anyway. Huge. Just wanted to announce that.
Be, consistent with when other religions are being, disparaged here. I don't know if this is really germane. I don't know if
Based
this
brick.
type of discussion.
Dude, this guy's a
serves anything
goat.
to
Do I
advance
follow
the
this
real
guy?
Core issue about
I
commenting.
don't. I'm going to follow this
the
guy. This guy's a
comments that
goat.
were made and the reaction to
What a
them.
legend.
And now we're on some tributary of like what's going on with Mormons.
Holy goat,
I
dude.
just don't. I'm not seeing the relationship, and I'm not gonna. I feel it's not really the right direction.
It's been germane.
That's a goat,
for
dude.
I don't know how many months now that everything about Jews can be discussed. Kai loves to do it. I can't talk for 2 minutes about Mormons without it.
Well, I don't know. I push back on that as well. I think that's ridiculous. Also, I mean, like, and,
By the way, I'm not
believe
sure
me,
who asked, but
even
the guy
as
who
a
shot
even as
Charlie
a
Kirk-
even
Charlie
as like
Kirk
a
was raised
secular
Mormon, yes.
even as a secular commentator, like I get accused of taking $7,000 every time I even remotely, not every time, but when I put out a post that remotely favors Israel.
Dude, Bricksuit is kind of a goat. Bricksuit is kind of a goat for sticking up for us like that. W Bricksuit, dude. I just sent him a message. I just shot him a DM.
I get accused
thanking
of
him.
being a shill for them. So
That's goated. I like Bricksuit. He's a principled guy.
With this reaction that grows where you said
Good guy,
something
good
I
guy.
don't like. I'm going to bring up your religion.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I have to second
It's
it.
relevant.
You know
This
what?
This is how they all act. They actually are schooled on it.
They
like,
muted
how to
him.
Slimy salesman. It's like 100%.
What do you mean we're okay? That's crazy. Hold on.
I'm going to bring up your religion. I just don't like it.
I have to second
It's
it.
relevant.
You know what?
This is how they all act. They actually are schooled on it, like how to be slimy salesmen. It's like
That's
100%
nuts.
True. Like there's a reason why they're overrepresented in the CIA and FBI. These are all things that you can look up. You can also look up the Mountain Meadows massacre, which I discussed earlier. Like this is all real stuff.
You know what? We're doing a space. We're doing a space right now.
I just like
we're doing a space right now.
I think it's disgusting that you're going to paint.
I'm doing a space with this guy. I'm doing a space with this guy right the freak now.
One of Charlie's best friends, in fact, his best friend, Tyler Boyer, is a Mormon individual.
Yep.
There are a lot of great Mormons out there. I'll say I meet a lot of people that are lukewarm Christians, and very few of them are Mormon.
Dude.
Yes, I know we're talking about the problems of Mormons, but
they're not.
We're doing a stream right now.
Still. I know they don't believe in the Holy
we are
Trinity,
doing
look,
a stream
listen,
right
you
now.
have to realize,
Hold on, Twitter space.
There is.
To be a Christian, though.
Are you Christian?
Yeah, the requirement to be a Christian is
What
belief in the Holy
denomination are
Trinity.
you?
Me?
Yes.
Fundamentalist.
Fundamentalist?
Literally, what is that,
You're a
dude?
Christian fundamentalist.
Literally, what is that?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this. I mean, I'd rather hear more about this than you dog on Mormons. What is a Christian fundamentalist?
Well, I'm not dogging on Mormons. I'm just like saying the truth. Like everything I said is an objective.
I think
fact.
there's so much. There's so much of it.
Everything I say is an objective fact. You've not said a single objective fact. Literally, not a single word you have said has been an objective fact. What is the amount of hubris? Like, look, you can say that it was wrong that the Mountain Meadow massacre happened. Absolutely. That's true. That's why they were convicted by a trial and a jury of Mormons. But you can't claim that Brigham Young signed a death order. Like, what are we talking about? None of what this guy has said is true, and everybody's turning on him. I love that.
They want to divide
I'm
Catholics
messaging him.
against evangelicals, against Protestants.
I'm messaging him right now.
Yeah, but all of
They
those
want to
groups
divide
believe in the Trinity.
Judeo-Christians. I don't think we should participate in the activity of.
Yeah, but I'm saying all of those other groups.
Dude, how do I
believe in
go
the Holy
live?
Trinity.
Can I go live while I'm
But,
live?
hold on. I have had to watch people say that Chabad, where I go, by the way, has tunnels across America, like crazy, unhinged shit. I say about 5 words of reality about the Mormons. They do slick salesman shit. It's completely endemic to their church. They by the way, the Book of Mormon, Jesus was in America. And
Yeah, that's based. That's based.
It's obviously a cult.
That's literally the most base thing.
It's not.
How is that a
real.
cult?
I can't
How does that
say
make us a
10
cult? That's
words about
based.
it and the way they
What do you think that
operate without it being
Hold on.
too much?
You think that Jesus Christ literally didn't go anywhere but Jerusalem? You think He had a 40-day ministry. He's a resurrected being. He can appear anywhere he wants at will, and he's unimpeded by walls. He's unimpeded by any physical object. You think that Jesus Christ, the Savior of all mankind, the Redeemer of the world, of all of the people that live therein, who will live therein ever, you think the only place he went was Jerusalem? Do you like look at me? You think I'm the crazy one because I believe that there were probably people who had heard prophecies of Jesus Christ who found their way to the Americas? And that he, post-resurrection, appeared to them and said literally the same thing he said to the ones in the old world? You think I'm the crazy one there? Really? Really, you think I'm the crazy one for that take? Who's the rest of the flock? Who's the other, sheep that were not of that fold that he was going to visit? Oh my goodness. Is Wooza restreaming me? King Laffy, well, thank you for not switching on him. Thank you for snitching on him.
I've had to
Yeah, we're gonna do a space about this right now. We're doing a space about this right now. Conversation with Ryland Stark.
How bad it is, and I can't talk about
addressing the issues.
Let me ask you this, Andrew.
Addressing the controversy is what we'll do.
Let me ask you this, Andrew. Do you think it's wrong that people are going after?
We're going to talk with him.
Here's the difference.
We're going to talk with him.
Wait.
Dude, Brick shoots the goat. Brick shoots the goat.
You gave Kai a yes or no binary option.
Yo, what's up, Raylan?
Raylan,
let's stream. Let's do it.
So
I'm glad you're here. Let's stream.
After your synagogue, is it wrong to go after other people's temples in absentia? And to me, the answer is yes. I'm not asking you to answer that question.
All right, we got the space live.
For myself, yes.
We got the space live. Let's do it. Let's let's do this. Let's do this. All right, everybody. All righty, we are live. We are so live right now. We are live like a live wire. Hold up. That's the one. Let's go. Just gonna have to do a little bit of window capture editing here. Let's go. Addressing the controversy. I'm ready to address it. I'm ready. There's an elephant. There is an elephant in the room. I'm ready to address him. Ready to dress up the elephant in the room. Ready to dress him up all nice. Put pants on him. Give him a nice outfit. I'm ready to do it. Raylan, where you at, big guy? Hey, Raylan. Are you in the chat, please? Raylan, what's going on, man? You wanted to chat. What's going on? Act like a gentleman. I will. I swear I will act like a gentleman. I swear it. Is that Turkey Tom? I thought that was Turkey Tom. It's a photo of him. All right, let's jump in here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing tonight? So good to be back with you. Buenas tardes, buenas noches, gente linda, ¿cómo estamos? Espero que están re bien. Acá estamos esperando a nuestro amigo Raylan Stark. Could he be the one other listener who is listening anonymously? It's possible. It is possible. Let's see. Who can we let's invite Mr. Raylan. Raylan Stark. Mr. Raylan. Is he still in the chat? Is Raylan still in the chat? Where did he disappear off to? Where did Raylan disappear off to? What's going on? Hold on, let me we'll tag him. He may not have seen it. Hey man, I'm in this space, ready to bring you up to chat. We'll put a smiley face. All right. Is he here? Oh, I don't think so yet. Well, he probably just hasn't seen it. Yet. All right, let's not say that, Katenva. Silly guy. Well, let's hey, what's going on? Why is he hasn't shown up yet? He was just here in the chat. Where did he go? Maybe he had like dinner or something. Maybe he had to run off to like dinner or something, you know. That could be the case. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait just a sec. We'll wait just a second. Yeah, BCE, Beamer Common Era. So real. I saw that again. Saw that again. Yeah, man, I wonder, I mean, what's going on, dude? He's got to, come on, Raylan. Is he here? Hold on. Hey, what's up, Tice? Who do we have? We got Jonah. We've got Esex Terrorist. We've got Rookie, TR Sarter. Let's go. Noah. Yo, we can even have somebody else moderate. Like, I won't be touching the mute button. You know, we'll be very sincere about it. You know, I don't want to do anything crazy. You know, if I just muted him, that would be really bad. You know what? You know what we should do? We should tag the uncensored guy, and we'll say, "Hey, man, you can be a moderator too." You know, we'll invite you. You could be here. Let's. He hasn't said anything. Let's tag the other guy, Uncensored America. Uncensored. Let's tag. You know what? Let's tag everybody who was there before. Toby. Let's tag Brick. Let's tag. Who else? Who else was it? The CS guy. No, what was his name? The journalist. Why am I tweaking out on this? Why am I forgetting? You guys know who CJ? Was it CJ? It's not CJ Pearson. Am I tweaking? Guys, remind me what his name is. Oh, we got a request. Who is it? Oh, it's Chris. Chris, I love you. I love you, Chris. But we're gonna wait just a second. Maybe we'll bring you up for now. We'll bring you up for now. And then, but we want to make sure that was it RC? Yeah, RC Maxwell. There we go. Hey guys, space is back up. Come join. I'd love to chat. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, Chris?
Hey, what's up, Kai? Hey, man, I can't stay long, but I just want to say, keep up what you're doing, man. It's just so awesome. After years and years of people being scared, the second they say anti-Semite, the second they come after you, and people getting canceled, and these old, grumpy, mean, old grandpas like Joel W. Barry, who I don't understand how this guy writes for a comedy site. He is the most depressed person I have ever seen in my life, and the Babylon Bee is just gone to shit. And like,
Well, let's not say swear words, but I agree.
Oh, sorry, man. It's actually that's been on one of my things for during Lent is to stop swearing. So thanks for that. But you know, it's like now's a great time for another comedy website to come up. But I just want to say, keep up the good work, man. Watching that go down, watching how they came after you, and then they're not going to debate you. You know, they'll talk crap about you just incessantly. And that's why, back when the founders were around, they had dueling, because if somebody like Joel Barry came along and was running his mouth against like Thomas Jefferson or somebody, they just say, well, hey, buddy, you meet me down by the Potomac. And if they didn't meet you down by the Potomac, then they were a coward and ostracized. So keep up the great work, Kai. I love what you're doing. You inspire me.
Man, Chris, thank you so much for the kind words. You're a legend. And yeah, a lot of people are asking, why is it that, what's his name? Raylan, he was just here. He was just in the live stream chat. So we're wondering why he's not debating yet. But yeah, hey, we're extending the invitation nonetheless. So thank you so much. And maybe that's him right now. Oh, it's not. It is not, unfortunately. Oh well. Hey, we will. I hope he shows up, man. Anyway, Chris. Hey, thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate the support, and we will not be budging. Do not worry, my friend. All right, I'm gonna drop you, and we'll see if our buddy comes on up here. Oh, thanks. Dropped yourself, goat. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hey, RC. Have you heard anything from this Raylan guy? I was doing my whole show for the last 2 hours, so I couldn't join the original call. But I'm ready now, and he was just in my live chat. I really hope that he jumps in. RC, you there? says you're a speaker. Oh, there you go.
I am actively communicating with Mr. Stark to see if we can to get him in the space.
Wow, you are a goat. That is some good journalism. You are the olive branch being extended. I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot for that. James Lindsay, I think, I'm looking over his tweets right now. I think his greatest sin is just the millennial humor. I'm going to share this to the space. I think that the greatest sin of James Lindsay is just the millennial humor. It's just really bad. No retarded gay crap formed against me shall prosper, and it's a horse running. It's like, dude, what are we doing? Like, are we in, what is this, 90s? What is this, the 90s? Anyway, let's see. We got a request. Still not him. Dang it. Well, we'll give it a second. What's why is he not eager to jump in? I mean, what has changed?
Look, I think in our increasingly divisive space, I think sometimes people are only willing to, have a discussion on their platform. I do think, to be fair, you were asked a couple of questions. Now, this is the only credit that I will give to America Uncensored. I have to give them credit here on this point. They did ask you point blank, do you disagree with the notion from Fuentes that people should vote Democrat? I think they were asking specifically, given you are a member of a Republican organization. And, you didn't answer there. So now he doesn't want to answer on your platform. And look, that's what I'm trying to get away from. I'm trying to get away from that. Yeah. I actually debated Nick Fuentes back in 2017. And he wanted to debate me again, and I did. So, look, I think discourse is important. I think Nick, since my debate with him, has moved over to my perspective. He no longer advocates for the things he used to advocate for. And I think that's quite frankly a testament to it really being indefensible once you kind of extrapolate, the ideology a little bit. So I'm an advocate of debate. And look, it would be my preference that, if you are, they're saying you're Graper adjacent. I don't know. Look, I defended you. I said, look, I don't really think he is that. He seems to be a kid who is open to a lot of different networks. And his ideology to me doesn't seem to be Graperish. And you just seem to be measured, and you seem to try to be overly judicious. I think sometimes that may hurt you at times when you entertain certain ideas and you sometimes look deeper. And look, I give you benefit of the doubt. You're young. I want to see you keep going, and I'd like to see you. Hopefully, I'd like to see you become someone who we can be proud of, right? In the conservative movement. Not saying that we're not proud of you now. Again, I'm not all up in your business like that. I just don't think that we should dispel of people just because we have certain disagreements with them. But I would like to hear you answer the question: do you think that Nick Fuentes was wrong to say that people should vote Democrat?
Well, so there's two questions there. There's a question of if he was wrong to say it or if I disagree. And then, by the way, I want to clarify this just because I think you're right to point out, I didn't answer the question. The reason for not answering the question is because I was literally doing a stream to talk about all of it. And I addressed the very question that you asked in the stream, even before I think the first half hour. So that was just why, and I was joking around a little bit, but I also don't think I was brought up in good faith. And you were there, and if you listen back to it, I think you'll realize that it wasn't a sincerely entertained question. It was, kind of framed like a gotcha. And the fact that they had the stream without even, inviting me on, I think somebody said they tagged me, but, they were saying yesterday, oh, they're going to have me on as, the main course or whatnot. I just didn't feel like there was a lot of good faith presented my way. So especially knowing that I was about to do the stream, I just redirected them that way. That being said, obviously as the political director for the College Republicans of America, I will be campaigning for Republicans. I will be helping Republicans in key races around the country get elected. I think there are plenty of races that Republicans are bound to win no matter what. And in a lot of these races, you have incumbents being challenged. You have a lot of kind of rhinos being opposed by, this is what you see with the John Cornyn, Ken Paxton race. And to the extent that they represent conservative values and the values with which the college Republicans align, I'll be going into those races and supporting. There's also races that, we're not going to be supporting anybody in, and it's because maybe we don't like either of the candidates. But
what
that's
about,
also.
can I ask you about a specific, I guess it's not really a contentious race based on polling, but can I ask you about the Florida gubernatorial race?
Yeah,
Byron Donalds.
We have.
Francis, I'm on a big space here with Kai Schwimmer.
Hey, what's up, man?
No, I'm just. What do you think?
Wholesome.
Fishback, and Byron Donalds. What do you think?
Yeah, the CRA does not have any plans to endorse in that race.
What's your personal feelings on it? It's a big race. It's Florida. Who do you like?
I'd love to see Fishback win. I just don't think he's going to. I think there's a lot of poison pills in the campaign that make it, incredibly difficult. But I think it tests the waters. It tests the waters on a lot of issues. But it's like the abortion ban. It's not a winnable campaign issue, and that's going to sound bad. I actually do think that you have to pursue a very aggressively pro-life policy. But I'm also willing to understand the electoral ramifications that has had, or that would have. But yeah, as far as the CRA is concerned, there's not an endorsement being made in that race. And I'll say, for me personally, I am incredibly suspicious of Byron Donalds and his very, very what seems excessive relationship with the Israel lobby in the United States. It's one of the things. Admittedly, I haven't looked far into his campaign. And the only tweets I've made of mentioning Fishback, for instance, they were right around the time he's announced. Truth be told, I haven't kept up much with either of them besides seeing the occasional base Denny's post. But yeah, that's about where it stands.
Okay, I will be letting James Lindsay know this.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I don't know if it'll change anything. I don't think he's terribly inclined to even if I could dispel everything that he believed about me in a minute, I don't think he'd even believe me. But yeah, I mean, I hope he takes your word over mine.
I do have to say, I did see Seth Dillon in West Palm recently, and I did have to tell him, even though I chided him and derided him significantly during the 2024 election, that I had to agree with him. I had to agree with him on some of his commentary on the direction, I think, of nihilism and the right and conservatism. So despite, my defense of you and my attempts, to try to keep you like in the loop, I don't think we should be canceling you. I think, we should have discourse with you. Again, I think that you are, you're somewhat interested in being in getting involved in civics. You want to have the mic, you want to have a show, you got graphic design, you have you have an operation going. I think that we should try to mold you into something that is, I think, patriotic and universal for conservatism. I don't think you're there yet, but I will say that I, for what it's worth, I'm probably more aligned with James Lindsay than I am with you. Even I know he's an atheist. I know I'm a Christian. I think you're a Mormon. So we're probably more aligned on the faith question. But with respect to discourse and the right and appropriateness and where we should kind of strive to represent ourselves in civics, I think there are certain personalities that are fringe that we should probably try to get away from.
Yeah, I mean, I really do appreciate, despite whatever differences we may have, your ability to just investigate it, I think, in very good faith. And the fact that you even extended some good faith to Uncensored America or America Uncensored, I appreciated that. Of course, there's going to be those disagreements. I don't know, man. You're trying to mold me. You're trying to groom me into something. That's like people are saying that I have a facade. Maybe people are controlling me. Nobody ever stops to consider that. But hey, I appreciate that. And if you wouldn't mind asking Raylan what platform he would be willing to have this conversation on, I'm pretty much fine doing it on any platform that is more moderate than America Uncensored. They muted me unfairly. I don't think they were framing the questions well. But if there's another platform that's willing to just make sure we don't yell over each other, I'm more than happy to migrate to that platform so it doesn't have to be one-sided. I'm not worried about going in and excessively muting him. I don't believe in that. So if you can communicate that to him, that'd be great. I take that hopefully as a yes.
Yes, I did. I just quoted you exactly, and I sent that to him.
Based. Appreciate you. Appreciate you big time. Yeah, very interesting. You want to mold me. I don't. The people are saying this is sus.
Yeah. No, because look, there's been people, Jaden McNeil and Patrick Casey to some degree, who have, they've had certain beliefs and they've changed their mind. So I think it's more important to have these discussions. Again, like I said, Nick Fuentes used to advocate for ethnic nationalism, say all sorts of degenerate things. He has softened his message. And I think that, I think still there's a lot of problems there. But, I think we could, convince you that the worst thing about a guy like Byron Donalds is not the fact that he is viewed positively by Israel.
Well,
by the way, Israel seems to be one of the few countries that engages in burden sharing with us, as other allies leave us by the wayside. The European allies, like there are no allies. I would like you to reconsider the Israel question.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there has to be a huge renegotiation of our relationship with them. I think it has to be way more conditional than it is. I think we have to be able to constrain them a little bit, and there's been a couple of things where I've been really frustrated, and I think very reasonably so at the advances that they've made. But what do you think would be the worst thing then about Byron Donalds, if not his seemingly excessive affiliation with AIPAC?
I think you should do some research into the limits of soft power and the necessity of military force. I think there's a lot to be learned out there. You're still young. I think you should learn about America's quote unquote position in the world and why some think we have a position in the world, to quote unquote. You've heard the term world police before. I don't per se like that term, but the U.S. is the global hegemon in the world. So we do have to get engaged in certain spaces. The Middle East is a terrain of war. That is one of the priorities, and it has been since the turn of the millennium. So Israel is our main ally in that terrain. So it's not hard to imagine why the United States really backs Israel. Again, you got to look into all this stuff, but I think there's some value to Israel. Byron Donalds, I think he's a solid candidate. I think he's been a rubber stamp for President Trump and the America First agenda in Congress. And this is the kind of no-brainer that we need running a state. DeSantis himself has been great as well. I just think Byron Donalds can probably take us a little bit to the next level because there's no friction between Donalds and who is the leader of the Republican base, the Trump admin. So I think we can have a little bit more of a symbiotic nature in Florida, a little bit more data sharing, and I think Byron Donalds is gonna really get things done in Florida. I don't really have any major concerns from him. I mean, there's been some things that's come up about his past personally. I think personal issues is a thing, but I don't think that's going to really affect his ability to govern.
No, we were talking about forgiveness. We were talking about that today. I will say, smoking marijuana cripples your judgment, but I don't think people are beyond being forgiven.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what exactly he said on that. I know what he used to say. He said he used to sail or something. Again, this is going to be a theme as more and more millennials get into government. You're going to see all sorts of interesting headlines you had never saw before. Our days of,
Gen Z, bro. Gen Z is going to be crazy. This is what I keep saying. People who come after me, dude, it's going to be mutually assured destruction with everybody in Gen Z. The only reason the millennials are doing it is because they don't have the same childhood online as we've had.
You're correct, and to some degree, some millennials have had an online feature. But look, I mean, yeah, I don't think we should be. I think the Gen Z movement is powerful, and we need to be engaging in it to whatever degree we need to. Certainly, sure. If you want to talk about what's appropriate and draw red lines, sure, I'll do that all day as well. But I don't think. Again, I don't think what happened to you was appropriate. I don't think it's appropriate to hold a space about you, mute you. I think that's that's just kind of, again, that's just not my preferred way to engage.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you saying that, and I really do hope that we can have a conversation with Raylan, with the other people involved. Toby's awesome. Love that guy. He really is like the GOAT of all time. And then also, who else was there? Bricksuit. I was super impressed with Bricksuit. I really haven't seen much of his stuff. He won a ton of respect from me. So anyway, I really don't think Raylan is going to hop in. So I think I'll probably just end the space, and maybe a little bit later on tonight he'll be down he'll be down to have the call. And
Can I ask, what's your goal in politics? Like, what's your goal? What's your why as to why you're in this? If you could just explain to us.
I want more people to have the possibility of living in safe communities, having high trust societies. I want to, in a sentence, make it easier for good people to live good lives. I think right now there's a lot of really negative influences that are very disastrously being commercialized, incentivized, and pushed onto people. I think we can very reasonably, like not in crazy ways, restrict the accessibility of those things. We can make life easier, especially for families. And you know, I think Utah for me it's a very idealized state. The trust is super high, the crime is low, education's good, and I really want more people in the country to have that kind of experience. But I think that even in the state of Utah, it's beginning to disappear. So I just want to make sure, whether that's electorally, through commentary, whatever it may be, that's my role. I want to be able to help more people have the chance of a future and childhood that I had.
Are you involved locally in Utah? Like, do you go to the local precinct LD meetings? Do you get involved in the county meetings in Salt Lake and do all that?
Yes, sir. We've got our caucus night on March 17th. And before, you know, being appointed to the national organization of the College Republicans, I've been involved with the Utah Federation among the like almost, I think, 11 schools that we have here in Utah. Yeah, so absolutely. I work with the state GOP and everything.
Good. That's the space you also need to be in. Online
100%.
isn't necessarily where it's at.
Well, and this is what I've been telling people. I said this a lot on the stream. It's there's a huge difference between what I was doing and saying, or like how I was operating politically from before my mission to now. I think, you know, before it was like I was having a lot of fun online. We were doing a lot of trolling. And then coming back from my mission, I realized, you know, I really do want to do something good. I want to help people. And I think it's totally possible to do so. And so I've been much more involved in person and actually less less online. But obviously that's changed a little bit in the last couple months because of the controversies and the Michael Knowles debate, which really blew up too. So yeah.
All right, thanks for inviting me to speak. I gotta read some books to my son and get into my night. But keep up your, you know, stay active. And you know, it sounds like your message is fine to me. Again, I disagree about the Israel question. We can talk about this all day, soft power and military necessity. But you know, that's, you know, it probably sounds like I'm a neocon based on those words. But you really got to look into it. There's a whole, you know, there's a whole cadre of literature on the subject of what the United States role is in the world. And if you kind of come to the conclusion that we have some role in the world to pick winners and losers, and you'd rather it be us than per se Russia and China, then I think you probably come around on the Israel question.
Okay. I don't know if I will. I'll be honest, I'm pessimistic. But nonetheless, I appreciate you being up here, man. RC, pleasure to talk to you. I appreciate you being here. And hey, gentlemen, you know, I really don't think Raylan is going to join up. I don't know what happened, man. They were promising me my whole show. All right, guys. I think we'll have to end the space there. Very Raylan or Galen poll just came out. You decide where. Raylan or Galen? I did not see this. Where's the Raylan or Galen poll? Where is the Raylan or Galen poll? Somebody on Polymarket bet on whether or not Raylan will join. I have no clue. I would bet no. Man, this is interesting, dude. He doesn't like to talk to me. He likes to talk about me, but maybe it's for the best. Maybe it's for the best. He doesn't, you know, grow his audience. Maybe it's for the best. Anyway, we love him too. Genuinely. Genuinely. Alrighty, guys. Well, hey, stay tuned. We're going to be having that conversation sometime soon with Dinesh D'Souza. So, it's going to be exciting. Going to be very exciting, actually. And there we go. We're going to end that space and see if we've missed any super chats. In the event that we have, we'll go over those. If you'd like to send any last minute ones, now's the time. It doesn't look like, yeah, it doesn't look like he's actually replying. He bragged about the fact that I followed him. And it's like, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not because I want to see your content. Maybe I do, though. Maybe he posts something based. Maybe he posts something based. It could be. It could be. That's possible. That's a possibility. It is a possibility. 100%. Okay? But yeah. Anyways, let's see here. Still 94 viewers going strong on Kick, 44 on YouTube. A total of 8,000. Nice. Love to see that. Aiden had a funny tweet. He said, just a reminder, Kai's a traitor. You need to A-log him. Very funny stuff. Alrighty. Oh man, Sloan. This Sloan girl getting beat up on by Jack Posobiec. She tweeted, this won't age well, and Charlie's going to be crying like a little B-word within a couple of days. Whoa, Sloan, chill. Hey, what's going on, Sloan? Why so mean? Alrighty, guys. Are those IEMs in your ear? I have no clue. I literally have not the foggiest idea. Have not the foggiest idea. Oh. 8,200 viewers. We had a good time. We did a little bit of trolling. We did a little balling. Addressed the rumors. He's watching your live taking screenshots. Hey, he's watching the live though, and that's what matters. That's what matters, and that's good. And that's good. That's the foundation of a positive relationship. Dude, he is watching. Dude, just talk to me. Like, what's going on, big guy? Like, seriously, I'm not scary. I'm not scary, Raylan. We've never met. We've never had a conversation. Or no, we had one like 6 months ago. You're right, we did have one. But come on, let's chat. Let's chat. Seriously, the like tweet to tweet thing, the X message to X message, like, it's just not the way to do it. Oh, man. Maybe it's because he knows the stuff he said about Mormons isn't true. Maybe what he's saying, maybe he realized. Hey, Carla. Hey, thank you, Carla.
At Carla10011 sent $1.99 on YouTube. Galen is watching you, he has a crush on you.
I'm tired. Carla, thank you for the 2. Hey, let's not be mean. Dude, let's not be mean, okay? Let's not be mean. Let's not be mean. Let's not be mean, but yeah, a little bit. Wait, the Meteorite News guy's there? Everybody was watching the stream tonight. Hey, that's good. We wanted to clear stuff up. That's good. I just, it's unfortunate that, you don't get to talk to the guy. You don't get to hear it from the horse's mouth. I said horses. Let me be clear. All right, guys. Well, I think that just about does it. I think that just about does it for us, guys. It was awesome. It was awesome, guys. That was a fun time. It was a fun stream. And hey, gentlemen, let's meet again sometime soon. Hey, thank you, Carla. Another super chat. All right, Carla. All right. Let's not be. Let's not.
One sent $9.99 on YouTube. Don't give up. The Jews
We're
won't
not
win.
paid. Caesar, don't be mean to me. Caesar's saying, "Yo, Texas playing. Let's go." The goat. No, thank you, Texas Plain Zoomer.
Texas Plain Zoomer sent $10 Wang.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Carla. They won't win. Don't worry. Mormons will win. Mormons will win. And then thank you as well, Mr. Texas Plain Zoomer. He says Wang half. I'm going to have to amend that. I'm going to have to make that Mang half. It's going to have to be Mang half, actually. Mormons are never going to hit a fault. Mormons are never going to have a fault. Based. Mang half. Mang half. Mang half. Wait a minute. Dude, that's actually so funny. Author Adam Bray tweets out, just look at his comparisons to Jews to the Talmor and Skyrim in his timeline. I had to ask Grok as I've not played. From what Grok said, it's pretty terrible. Grok, tell us about the Thalmor and Skyrim in great detail. The Thalmor are the ruling council and paramilitary force in the Third Aldmeri Dominion, Altmer-led Elven Alliance. In Skyrim's lore, they're elven supremacists aiming to restore Mer dominance over humans, 1 century at a time, and usher in a new Merithic era by purifying Tamriel. They enforce the White Gold Concordate's ban on the Talos worship, a human god, viewing it as blasphemy against elven superiority. In-game, Justiciars patrol roads, arrest worshippers, run the embassy near Solitude, and Northwatch keep prison. Key plots include Ankano's power grab at Winterhold College, Eye of Magnus, and hunting Blades agents, arrogant mages / warriors, antagonists in Civil War espionage. They ally with the Bosmer and Khajiit, but persecute inferior races and dissidents. I didn't even know all of that. That's hilarious, though. Well, who do you think? Well, Mr. Adam Bray, author, what do you think the races in Skyrim are? If not the Thalmor, then who are they? Who do you think the orcs are in Skyrim, mister? Okay. All right. Why don't you tell me? Anyway, Pat Buchanan is right, was right, is right, remains right. And gentlemen, it has been awesome. It has been a great stream. It has been a lovely time. Unfortunately, for today, we are out of time. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next stream. Hopefully this weekend on Friday. See you later.